Back to the Archon Team League Championships. We're on to week 7. Brian Kibler has left us during this break, and to join us is actually not Kibler, but Thijs himself. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. We're a bit upset maybe from yesterday, but yeah, you have to get over it, and I'm doing good now.
Yeah, Gara also had a really rough run yesterday. I guess you both can share in the disappointment maybe of the last week's performance. The thing is, like, I guess the later in the event that it goes, maybe the worse it feels. Would that be right? Or because those points matter more, right?
I mean, it just got worse a little bit because Archon pushed us from the 3rd place. So it's like just to rub it in, you know?
And Thijs, you also stand to have something happen that's completely out of your hands at this point. Forsenboys might, if they get the win, push you down 1 notch to, I think, rank 6, if I'm not mistaken, which forces you to fight in the redemption bracket against Team Liquid.
Yeah, well, then we will fight for it. It's a bit hard to say how they will look because it's pretty complicated with 4 or 5 teams all on the same score, and we have some people, or we have some teams that all have the, as you can see now, they have the same game win. So are we gonna look at game differential, or are we gonna look at how the teams did against each other that are all tied up? So
yeah, it's a mix of both. It's team differentials, I think, matters first. As you can see, our Cloud9 has less game wins than Value Town, but overall they've got a better game differential, so they will take the 1st place. So, and Forsenboys would have to perform very well here, but there's always a chance they can pull it off. Does it matter for Team Liquid? I have a question. Does it even matter? If they get a 6 wins directly, does it matter? I think they're still in redemption no matter what, unless I'm mistaken.
For Team Liquid, it doesn't matter at all. They will still play for the redemption spot, but they can fight for the honor, and they can fight for us for Tempo Storm. So I hope they will fight hard.
For the honor, yeah. Do you have something? You have something here, a vested interest in having Team Liquid just win this with a crazy 6-0. Not only crushing Chakki's, soul, but also in the process allowing you guys to keep your spot. So we're gonna see Team Liquid with Savjz, SjoW, and Neirea versus Forsen, Chakki, and Ostkaka. So they've been performing initially in the league. They were doing very well, but I think it fell down somewhere in the middle of the league, and now they're near the bottom, and they're gonna have to fight to get out of redemption. Team Liquid, on the other hand, in a bit of a weird spot. Nothing unusual out of these lineups. Anything stands out from you, Gara?
Pretty standard. I mean, there you can see that the win really matters for both teams a lot. Actually, does it matter for Liquid?
For Liquid it doesn't, but it's mostly to force Forsenboys to just go down.
But Forsen, it's more like if they hate the players,
Yeah.
I mean, it's for them to decide if Nihilum or Forsenboys gets into the redemption. Actually, do you care like who you face in the redemption? That might be also something, Do you rather face?
Great point.
I mean, I would definitely think about it. If I go into the redemption phase for sure, then you kind of wanna have the weaker team for now, and then later like the top 2 teams advance.
But who's the weaker team? Now that's the question. Is it Forsenboys or is it Nihilum? Right? They've got to figure that out, and that'll depend on what Team Liquid thinks they're best up against. Their best hopes of getting out of the redemption.
How did Liquid do against Nihilum?
I don't recall how it went.
It was we were behind really hard, 5-2 or 6-2, and then SjoW had this warrior left, and we just 4-0 or 5-0 the warrior at the end. So we won at the end 6-5, but we were behind really hard.
So you were like 1-1, and then they were 5-1, and then you just came back 6-5.
Yeah, well, not that. I think 5-2 or 5-3 behind.
All right, so that's still a pretty good comeback. All right, first game is going to be a Paladin from Chakki, probably an aggro pally just based on this hand. Why else would you play Divine Favor? And Neirea playing his typical, could be a funky mage. He's been playing a lot of weird mage decks recently.
The mage what we see now, it looks like a pretty standard freeze mage from the start on, and
yeah.
The hand from Chakki is really bad in general now against. You want to have a lot of pressure against the mage, and this hand is not really pressuring at all.
Like we couldn't see if he kept the Divine Favor. Like if he kept the Divine Favor, he 100% expects a freeze mage from Neirea, even though Neirea brought some Echo Mage and Freeze Mage with duplicates and stuff.
Yeah, I can't fault him for this though.
Looks like Neirea is listening to some good music, by the way. Look how he is acting there.
He's like, yeah, he's really good music. We need to.
It
put
feels
him in the
relaxed
spotlight.
at all, at least by playing.
Maybe he's like also like singing like I don't care if I win because it doesn't matter at all.
That sounds like a great song, Garo. Are you gonna record that for us? You know, when we see each other eventually, I'll force you to record this, and it's gonna be uploaded on the internet where it will live forever. Oh, so this is a pretty decent turn to consecration, right? Like, when else do you get to do it against the mage? And it's gonna keep your 1/1s alive. I mean, that double blessing of might, like this hand he's got looks really bad, but right now it's looking like it's perfect. You can dump everything and follow it up with divine favor in the mid game.
It's really not bad. And also like Talnos cuts like that, it's good for him because he will get to draw as well.
Nice pickup though by Neirea. Mad Scientist is on point. Savjz, what did you think about the other weeks when Neirea brought Echo Mage and stuff like that? Like, I know you play a lot of Mage yourself. That's probably one of your core classes. What were your thoughts when you saw those?
I was really loving it. Like, I didn't have the balls to bring it, so I love the deck also to see it. I also love to play it myself, but I just feel it is a bit too weak to really bring it over Freeze Mage or even over Tempo Mage. But I really love that Neirea was bringing it here.
The same version with the Mountain Giant.
Well, just in general, like bringing an Echo Mage.
Yeah. It was a unique twist on it, most definitely.
Wow, and Chakki seems to be going really aggressive now with both using Blessing Away. But I think that is the strategy, right? If you also have like the Divine Favor, you just want to play all your cards.
Yeah, I think that's the way you play the deck, and like as bad as his hand looked, those blessings of might really matter a lot because they force the mage in really awkward positions early. But I think like with the Ice Bearer set up and another one in hand, there's a good chance the mage is able to stabilize very well. I mean, it's pretty rough, I guess, to win against this type of deck.
It's like so hard to win just because of the strategy from the Freeze Mage is to draw a lot, and the Paladin, the aggro Paladin, just really punish it really hard with just playing Divine Favor and, as you see, drawing insane amount of cards.
Yeah, I don't even think that the second Divine Favor was so bad. I mean, it looked bad to draw into the second one, but I think he can just dump his hand again.
Eventually, just vomit that hand and try again for round 2 of even more cards. Because the Freeze Mage is going to be looking to expand his options.
I would be really surprised if the Freeze Mage can win against double Divine Favor aggro Paladin. He's basically using his entire deck. Like, he draws like, I don't even know how many more cards, but it's like 15 more or something like that.
And they all deal damage if they're played properly. Chakki's got a crazy amount of burst in hand, and the Leopardome on top of that, the Iron Beak Owl to make things even worse. It's pretty hard not to get the Ice Block popped soon. So if the second one doesn't show up, or if Alexstrasza doesn't show up, Neirea stands to just lose this very quickly. Is Chakki considering a trade?
That's
the
like
golem. Oh, this is
multiple things he can do. Silence his own golem. It's basically 4 damage for 2 mana.
It's really scary to leave an Emperor up. So.
Yeah.
And you cannot pop the block here yet, so. Is he going to silence his own Arcane Golem to let it attack again?
All I know is I think this Leopardome is going to be played when the mage has to wipe the board. That's one thing we know for pretty much sure. He's got to kill the Emperor, right? Like, that's too dangerous. Oh, he does. Okay.
There were only 2 games in the Archon League I saw where people let Emperor live for more than 1 turn, and one was where Colento used Blizzard, Archmage, and Tinnitus. I think we casted that together.
Yeah, and he just... Yeah, I remember that. That was obscene.
That's pretty
sick. I'm still not sure how I feel about that Leopardome. I don't know why. I get the feeling you should keep those for when the AoE is about to drop.
Well, this is one of the ways the Freeze Mage can actually win this matchup by just hoping they don't have the all here and you can just start smashing fireballs in the face of the Paladin next turn.
So is he gonna go for the block pop? My guess is yes, but we'll see.
Oh man, if Neirea would draw the Alexstrasza here, that would be so insane.
I mean, even Ice Block is a crazy top deck.
He will just pop?
Yeah, he can pop it if he wants, or alternatively, he can just play The Savjz
Yeah, he-
deckhand and like just double straight into
Yeah,
Archmage.
what would
take a
he
lot of
lose
face
to?
damage.
What would he lose to?
A flame strike maybe. With a flame
No.
strike, he can play the barrier again. A flame
That's
strike,
such a
that
huge amount of damage.
but you saw already double Frost Nova, I think, with a Blizzard being used, or at least one Nova and a Blizzard. So it's not likely there are any freeze effects on the board.
And that's not quite it, but that's a lot of health come back with the Ice Barrier and the anti-heal bot. He can even weave in a Fireball to the face. He might actually win this?
if like
He wins next turn. No, doesn't
he
he?
had a,
No, but
If
you
you
have
had
to
an-
play defensive, otherwise
Yeah.
you're getting bursted down.
if he had an Ice Lance in hand, he would have had lethal. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like on the following turn. Oh man, I was hoping to see the crazy mage going full aggro.
He's thinking if he needs the loot order draw.
Like it kills a minion at best, and the fireballs are enough to power you to victory most of the time, I
Huh.
guess.
I really like the attack in the face with the Archmage still, but I just like for Chakki is kind of forced if he cannot pop here the Ice Barrier or not popping to just still kill the Antonidas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first you
Yeah.
have to check what it is.
And now the second Leper Gnome might come in handy as as insurance against the board clear again. Once more.
That's the biggest problem with Agro Paladin. You don't really have a lot of raw burst damage.
Mm,
You kind of
yeah.
snowball from the early game.
It's all spells, really. Like, all minions, that is. You don't really have any fireballs or frostbolts. I mean, nobody plays really Hammer of Wrath or Avenging Wrath, so...
It's like the biggest burst damage combo is Arcane Golem Kings, and it's like a 7 mana combo for 8 damage.
So even with a Frostbolt top deck, he still couldn't win. He absolutely needs to find the Ice Block right now. Ice Block, Arcane Intellect into Fireball face could win in the game. He finds the Ice Block here and he wins, right?
A Frost Nova is really good here too.
Yeah, Frost Nova is enough.
Oh,
is that-
Con of Gods.
Oh my
there's-
god.
Oh
it's
no!
duplicate.
Why is that not?
Yeah, now he's like, why did I take that win?
Yeah, where's my block?
Oh, wrong card. Wrong
Is there a
game.
way for him to stay alive, though? Think about it. Maybe there is. I can't quite tell just yet. So you freeze the 3 minions.
You can play the duplicate and hope Chakki, you can mind game Chakki with it. I mean,
No, but think about it. So you Kono call the Arcane Golem. The Owl dies, the Shell Minibot can't attack. He's got 5/6 on board. You might live if you ping one of the other minions as well.
So he probably has to go for the 1 draw. I mean,
He
if
has to go like Cone of Cold, ping a 1/1, and then you can Fireball face. And then you go face with Archmage and win next turn. That's your only hope of taking the game, is what I think. It's the only way I can see him take this. Oh my god, he's trading.
I mean, if he pings the loot order and gets the ice block and goes face for 5.
Now he doesn't die to South Sea Deckhand or
oh, it's
Consec.
1 damage off. Team
Yeah, that was
Forsenboys
a
is
great
1
trade.
damage off.
He had to make the trade.
Yeah. But like Neirea still doesn't have lethal.
Ice block, top deck, Fireball, and then
He needs, if he just draws Ice Block, I think he's already really fine because he has 1 Fireball that is 3 mana, he can even just throw double Fireball in the face and
yeah.
the turn
Wow.
after it is enough.
Neirea with the 1 top deck to rule them all. We might see a perfect esports moment. This
The
is like
Leper Gnome is, yeah. The Leper Gnome is really, really bad here for Neirea because it's just freezing the board like a Frost Nova is not gonna matter. Well, it's mattering if you can, now that matters, but it's really bad here with the Leper Gnome for...
Yeah, but because Blizzard doesn't help, or like all freezes don't help because he's at 1 life.
wait, he could still
Ice
do
block.
it. He could still get the ice block from the and he
Oh,
still
no.
he's-
He can't draw.
He cannot draw, he's gonna get Fireballs.
No, you Fireball face first. You Fireball face first, then you Arcane
But
in.
then you get another Fireball.
Yeah, but that's fine because you replace the one you just threw.
Yeah, but you can't. I can't
That
even like
doesn't
draw
matter.
2 cards. That's the thing. You need to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you play the... Okay, so you just keep cycling nonstop and you lose? Well, that's rip anyway, right?
Well, you play duplicate and hope.
This is the saddest moment I've ever seen because what just happens is basically a freeze mage with infinite fireballs that can't win the game. I don't think I've ever seen an archmage stay up so long and not do anything.
He literally
You're discarding a fireball.
Oh,
Well, that doesn't matter.
look at those fireballs. This is beautiful.
He had lethal in hand.
Yeah, you think?
Discarding a fireball.
He could kill like 2 players with this hand. Oh
If
man,
he just
well,
had the time to play all these fireballs.
I can't even.
Shout out to the one guy in chat who spammed Miss Lethal.
Yeah, not the one guy. This is
Not the
Twitch,
one
Gara.
guy.
You
To
have
all
no
the
idea.
guys.
Yeah, shout out to all the guys who just spammed Miss Lethal like 25 times. So it's kind of unfortunate. I think the way the Leper Gnome was played, I thought was a little overzealous from Chakki, but it turned out to work because usually in this specific case, when I can play other stuff than Leper Gnome, I like to keep the Leper Gnomes to that last second, where the mage can't ping it. But he played them offensively, and Chakki, I mean, Neirea never removed them, so maybe a Blizzard at the end there could have mattered. But in the position where he was, since he'd never dealt with the first Leper, nor the second, it actually ended up being a potential lethal again. We'll see what happens next. Forsenboys is up 1 over Team Liquid, so this is not good for Nihilum.
It's like also a huge win for Forsenboys. To get a win on Aggro Paladin this early is like really huge. It's not just a normal win with Patron Warrior or Hunter, whatever. It's like a win with Aggro Paladin. That's like really big.
What do you aim to target usually when you're playing that deck?
Like other aggro decks, especially Mech Shaman, like against them, it's their Zoo. If they bring Zoo, Handlock, Freeze Mage. Like Freeze Mage was one of the good matchups, and he got it like right away.
How is the matchup against Hunter, by the way? Because I heard a lot of different opinions about having aggro Paladin against Hunter.
Aggro Paladin is favored, like heavily, in that matchup. It's like one of the worst matchups for Hunter to get. Because you Aggro Paladin will always outrace Hunter. Because you have the True Silver. True Silver is like a life difference of 12 on one card. It's insane. And Kings is also really strong. And also Aggro Paladin plays Taunt, sometimes 1 Argus. That's why you take in 1 Argus to be even stronger in that matchup. And Hunter doesn't run taunts.
And we are getting the Freeze Mage Mira. At least I expect Forsen to play Freeze Mage.
Yeah, but does he run Duplicate? Because Neirea does. And that matters
how
a
will that
lot
tech be in
more.
this matchup?
That matters a lot more, I think, than the second Ice Barrier in this matchup. Right?
Yeah, but still, like, you don't really want. Is the question. He gets the mad scientist of the unstable portal. I saw a lot of people telling
About the
us
secrets. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
even play secrets in their tempo mage anymore, let alone mech. So there's a chance that this is just a 2-2 for 2 minutes.
Yeah, which is kind of ironic, right? You play like you play Mage, you get a Mad Scientist, and you then run a secret.
Oh man,
but-
the Doomsayers are good. He can't kill them, but he can't ignore them.
But the
Oh,
Fell
yeah.
Reaver, like the Fell Reaver can auto-win him the game, but it can also auto-lose him the game. That's the thing. That's the high risk with that card.
A reversing switch is such a great card to get though in this matchup. Like that spare
Oh,
part
yeah.
couldn't have been better. I think
It's the best
Like,
one by
Yeah, had to be the best.
What to do? What to do?
Maybe Neirea will regret that he played the duplicate last game, because now they might notice that there will be a duplicate in the deck. And well, I think that Doomsayer is one of the best targets to get out of the duplicate still. You don't really want it.
I think it was never shown though.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he played it and he just left, right?
Yeah, but then already, you say already enough, I think. If it was an ice block, you will not concede there.
Oh, I'm not. I don't. Honestly, I don't like this
double.
play.
That is
No,
so
that's
all
not
in.
good.
And then
'Cause
what
he
if
would
the
not get-
opponent just lets it pop, right? But I don't think he will. I think the reversing switch is going to be... Like, what's going to happen now, there's going to be a total of 4 Doomsayers played this game. Because reversing switch is going to kill one, he's going to kill the other one. And he's going to pray that nothing wrong happens. But as we know, these double Doomsayers... The Forsen is big.
Good Forsen reaction.
Never lucky, mate. Yeah, and now he
Okay.
can't kill the double Doomsayer wave number 2. He can't do it. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
I don't like that. Like, I mean, you wait.
What?
Didn't he know he played duplicate last game?
No, he didn't see it. I think Neirea left right away. And also, the match might still be on delay.
I see, because yeah, that was like a huge misplay to play double Doomsayers. You just ignore it and then like you just duplicate something weaker.
That's like Neirea's gonna have to find a Nova, and if he does, I think he's gonna be in a great spot. Konako is
kind of-
also not too bad, but
Is it enough? Oh, he's playing
No,
around it.
not
That's
here.
pretty good. By Forsen.
yeah, very good positioning by Forsen here. Oh, never mind.
Oh no. Never
It's great positioning, but you know, never lucky is never lucky.
Oh man.
There's no exception there. And now Neirea's just trying to mill his opponent. He's like, you know what? Let's have some
Yeah.
fun.
Well,
I
he's
also like
also
the-
like setting up for if something goes wrong, if he's gonna fireball it, he can still flame strike and the Fel Reaver will die.
Oh man. Oh man.
Always
that's
lucky.
pretty- that
Always
is
lucky.
insane. That is so insane. The only fireball and double frostbolt are like the only removals, and reverse switch. The only three
Yeah.
ways to kill a Doomsayer.
But
It was pretty smart by Neirea, so now that he can still kill it with flame strike if Forsen goes for that play.
right,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. Great, great play by Neirea, because either way, he's still gonna be fine, even if Forsen has exactly what he needs. And from here on out, Forsen is in top deck mode. Unless something crazy, literally crazy comes out of that shredder, this might be a very difficult climb back up.
I also like the manly decision by Liquid to just send out Neirea again. No afraid of the benching.
Yeah, who cares about benching? It never lost anyone a series, right?
Nah.
Someone's playing to Trog MVP against spell decks, right? Such a good card, Kappa.
It's pretty fun that you get Truxer against Mitch. Like, it's like either SjoW or yeah.
Now you guys are laughing, but wait for this Truxer to become like BGH Stark.
It's like
can
Undertaker 2.0, right? The new Undertaker has been found.
I'm almost out of cards.
Oh,
The
I'm
problem
already...
is Forsen is milled. Like, there's nothing he can do. He's got 0 cards. If this board is gone, he's got 1 card left. This is his last card to win with.
Yeah,
Hello.
And Neirea is saying hello.
Cards.
Wow, what a great last card to have. A Cog Master here. Great synergy with the current board state. Definitely going to pack in a total of 25 damage on its own. I was gonna say it would be nice to see Neirea just go face with Alex and then stall. Let Forsen die to fatigue, but I think he's gonna play the...
Yeah, but
More
now when
consistent
you
game.
have no deck left, it's
Yeah, it's over, right? Like, there's no winning.
Truxer is the only home.
Yeah. And he still is. There's a chance. Trogzor can be the hero we were all waiting for. If anybody can do it, it's Troggy. Oh, never mind.
Careful,
Forsen doesn't
Forsen
believe in
behind you.
Troggy. Poor Troggy. No faith.
so yeah. Forsenboys was going with the strategy by hoping Neirea will not go again with the mage to get this mech mage out of the deck, getting it out. But it didn't work out. But still has good matchups left, I think. So
Yeah. It's still like anyone's game at this point. We're very early in the series. I liked the decision from Liquid, the ballsy decision to just throw Neirea out again. It's not something you see very frequently. It's happened a few times during the league, more times than I thought it would. I thought the bench rule would discourage a lot of that strategy, but it seems like the mind games of it is worth it. What I'm wondering is whether or not the remaining lineup from either team is going to have an edge, because Neirea is stuck with Druid.
It's also like you have to calculate the risk. He has so many good matchups, Neirea, against Forsenboys with his Freeze Mage. To get like another bad matchup, or if he gets a good matchup and then to lose again is very unlikely. So it's a low risk and high reward.
So it's also interesting that both players are playing Shaman now. I don't think that Ostkaka played Shaman before in ETLC, or I cannot really remember it. Maybe he did last week.
No.
But it's something they didn't bring before, or maybe Forsen played it. We saw Savjz playing it already last week, the Max Shaman, and it worked out really well for him. So I guess that will be a Max Shaman, but we don't see it often. People that both teams are bringing Shaman.
Yeah. It's
Ostkaka
happening more and more though recently. Sorry, go ahead.
Ostkaka usually brought Rogue and Druid as the 6th deck, but like you also look at what other people bring, and the Max Shaman just did so well for so many players, especially for Kibler. Like he got like the most wins, and he almost always brought Max Shaman, so he switched it up to Max Shaman. It's just too strong.
I wonder if
like the reasoning.
Like after TGT, if Max Shaman will stick around or for new archetype, because like they're getting a huge buff, right? Obviously, any type of combo based deck, when they're trying to reach for cards in their deck, that's sort of getting solved with ancestral knowledge. So I have to wonder if
but then
it's maybe
again,
better for combo decks or what's up?
But aggro decks got like indirectly a nerf with
Right,
TGT.
exactly. That's kind of my point. Is I feel like that archetype is almost bound to die as a result of all the other tools that were put in, but. I guess we'll have to see the full picture after that releases. It might turn out that Grim Patron is still the best deck around, and we're all still trying to fight it.
Isn't that what we are all scared for? That Grim Patron will still be the best deck there.
Yeah, it
even
will
with the new
be.
cards.
What can you even think of that suddenly
Yeah.
nerfs it? I can't
they
even think of a
haven't-
thing.
They haven't implemented anything
Yeah,
that nerfs.
there's gonna be a Patron Fiesta. Let's prepare for that. Even more fun.
So it's Hunter against Warrior. Ostkaka bringing the Warrior here against SjoW is Hunter. SjoW plays a pretty aggressive Hunter, at least last week's in the ETLC.
Yeah, another very great pick for Forsenboys to get the Warrior against the Hunter. It's like one of those matchups you want to get.
It's still a tricky matchup, isn't it? I feel like it's for sure favored for the Warrior, but there are a lot of ways that the Hunter can still win by either the Warrior not getting the patrons early enough or not having enough health, and the Hunter is just bursting them down.
Yeah, it's very difficult for the Warrior, but if you are as good as Ostkaka with Patron Warrior, you really know how to like play what to mulligan for. And if you know how to play this matchup exactly, you will really get a really, really high win ratio against Hunter.
Well, let's see if we can get a smile of Ostkaka. I only saw him smile once, and that was when Doomsayer came out of a shredder against him. I think RDU got that game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm hoping to see some Ostkaka emotion, but I know SjoW is very emotional. You can see on his face when something happens. It's amazing.
I actually like to just watch emotional players. It's cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, you did spot the Neirea having a lot of fun and headbanging to good music, so you've got a good sense of observation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's roll.
Actually, the funniest player to watch is probably Life Coach. When he gets like unlucky.
He's literally disbelieving. He's like, there's no way this... You can go, like, the entire thought process is crazy.
He's like, that is impossible. Like, this is like mathematically impossible.
Yeah, like I've calculated every outcome from here on out for the next 2 years, and the odds of this happening are actually almost impossible. Every single time.
So how often do you coin out the Ghoulie? Like it is a
100%.
really strong play. Like
It's
it's so
100%. Yeah.
like the only way they kill it efficient is with Glaive Zuka, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the only card.
Yeah, like Abusive
Quick
Sergeant
Shot-
is horrible.
Yeah, Quick Shot is terrible. You lose your turn. You lose your burst damage for later. Abusive Surgeon is terrible. Clears both. Like Unstable Cool is probably the strongest card against Hybrid Hunter.
I think you might have to throw the Abusive here, even if you don't like it.
Yeah,
so
because
bad.
like if you kill command next turn, you lose even more damage, and you still lose your Lepanum.
Yeah, you lose your turn 3 tempo too, which is a really big deal. Because you're gonna spend your turn 3 on kill command and lose the Lepronome, and then what? Turn 4 comes out, Warrior's ready to roll. They've already got the Acolyte of Pain set up. That's just not gonna happen.
That's why you also usually don't keep 1-drops against Patron Warrior. Just because of that scenario. Like, Armor Smith punishes you, Unstable Ghoul punishes you, Taskmaster punishes you, Inner Rage punishes you, Whirlwind, almost everything.
Yeah,
That's
the
like-
1 health creatures are so bad against Warrior. Like, can kill the 1 health creatures so easily.
I guess his only hope was to wait and top deck Owl, but even then, the Lepronome was dead by that point. That's got to feel good for Ostkaka. Trade a coin for an abusive sergeant. I'd take that trade every day.
I still think it was correct by SjoW to use the abusive there.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty tricky matchup to navigate.
This is also really something Hunter can't afford because you don't have card draw. Like basically his hand is dead.
Yeah.
And especially early on, the first 3 turns are the most crucial turns for Hunter. You need like your Animal Companion on curve, your Mad Scientist on curve, or Hound Creeper.
And sometimes you're thinking like, oh, I can't wait for the Knife Jiggler Unleashed turn to make a comeback, but that's not really the comeback you will make against the Warrior.
Patron. Yeah, let's keep dreaming about that. Let's keep
get
dreaming.
more patrons in here.
Also, the later the game, the weaker those cards get as well, like Animal Companion.
Well, that's what he would have liked to find earlier. It's not too bad in this case because it can do something. The problem is you're still sending out your Knife Juggler to get eaten up by the weapon, and you have absolutely no follow-up. Like, unless he's playing some sort of mid-rangey deck and he finds, say, a Lotheb or Powder Shredder next turn into high main, this is not looking like a game he can salvage.
But you get an extra hero power in.
Knife Juggler is like a quick shot at best.
Yeah, to the face. That's just you wait. Control Hunter will take over.
He might even go for Inner Rage.
Let's do it. Let's do. Oh, that's evil.
But that's like the only way he can lose is to face damage. So might as well save free life.
Yeah. Oh my goodness,
God.
he's running the version with Dread Corsair on top of this.
Because he just drew that card, he decided to not trade his Acolyte.
Well, now that's a card that SjoW's got to be happy to find, but he's gonna have to push full face to get a win. There's nothing else.
Now he's praying that Ostkaka will never draw an Armor Smith.
No. Gar, I told you watch out with that caster curse, man. I told you to watch out for this as soon as we started this cast.
Because that is what I'm praying for when I play against Patron. Just don't have the freaking Armor Smith. Come on, man. One time.
Yeah, but you can't abuse your power, Gar. You can't do this.
It's like the amount you have to use to kill Armor Smith. It's just...
Yeah. It was a 2-3 initially in the game, in beta. Like in alpha, it was a 2-3 minion. So it was easier to take out, and it was a lot worse.
Really?
Yeah,
Good
it was
times.
in a way it was better because it traded on its own. But in the decks that you wanted to play it, it was worse because it didn't live. It was kind of weird.
Blood and plunder.
It's so much more difficult to kill.
Unleash the never mind ghoul. Unleash the armor, basically.
Sure smiling. He's like, alright.
Okay.
You got me.
You have to kill command the armor smith, right? You can't not.
Yeah. And you had to use Unleash the Hounds to kill an Ensemble Ghoul. Ensemble Ghoul has such enough. It's like the best two anti-aggro tools in the game.
And you give him a card draw on top of this, because why not? You're a very nice hunter.
Oh. He came actually better out of it than I was thought, but because it's still like Warrior on 14 HP, maybe there is some way with some good top decks that he can just throw all these spells in the face.
I think there's a way for him to win, but it's going to involve winning just about now, because if Ostkaka goes for Death's Bite, Armor Up, a Punch Face, he can just set up a War Song Frauding for the win on the following turn. I think Ostkaka's got this game on lockdown, unless something awfully wrong happens.
Yeah.
SjoW's win condition has a lot to do with the word charge at this point.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I could see.
Or pigs.
Well, that's kind of charge, right? Oh, well, that's charge.
Charge.
It's not charge enough, maybe, right? Oh, I guess you could clean up the board and guarantee the frothing's not an auto kill. But how do you win if you go for that, clean play?
That would be a great challenge, Stone. Like
Everything
at least 15
charged?
cards. At least 15 cards of your deck must include the word charge in it.
And you can't play anything but priest. Otherwise, you're kind of making you're making the game just to face Hunter Fest.
Well, decides to go phase, and I think that was the winning play. You just hope that they don't have it.
My blade be thirsty.
Yeah, this is more than enough now.
Yeah.
But it was still really close. Like at the end, Ostkaka ending at 7 HP after all the Armorsmith armor came out of the Ghoul, and the double Ghoul, the Dread Corsair. Like the warrior had to go past a lot of towns.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really that much. It wasn't a blowout. Let's say. Let's just say the hunters having to deal with the first Ghoul was a really big step back because he had to just lose 2 cards, then the tempo on this, and then the last Ghoul with a lot of minions forced him to waste quote unquote a kill command on an Armorsmith.
But that win is still not too bad for Liquid because you expect the patron to get a win at some point. It's like one of those decks you just have to give a win.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Like you don't really treat it as a loss in many cases unless it's the last one, since anyway you're gonna be likely to lose one of your matchups to it.
Right, Thijs? It's probably for you as well. Like there's some losses that really feel bad, and some losses you're like, yeah, they have to get the.
Yeah.
win
When
on
you
that
expect
deck.
to play phase against when you expect playing phasing patron, you know that you only have maybe 1 or 2 favorite matchups against it anyway. So yeah, you are not really afraid of losing that. It's not the most important. You can still like sometimes you can 2 or 3-0 patron at the end, but it doesn't happen often. But the only sad thing for Liquid is that the worst matchup against Patron is already out with the freeze mage. So they get already the matchup that they don't want there. It is already out for them.
All right, so I think Forsenboys might try to get Forsen a win to get out of the weird position where one of your players could get benched. We've spoken about this before. It's a great position when you have like 3 players with 1 deck each. There's no risk of that benching becoming a really big issue. So maybe he sends out the Warlock, but as a result would SjoW queue up with his Hunter again, maybe also mind gaming in the process.
Well, Liquid showed already that they did that with Neirea in the first place, so
Yeah,
they can do it again. Like, but
Hunter
it's
versus
kind
Warlock.
of
It's a prediction.
it's a bit more risky now. I feel like getting SjoW out with 2 classes. It is kind of tricky to do.
Yeah, because what if you're stuck with Druid? This is everybody's worst nightmare, except you, Thijs. You seem like you're the only player who doesn't really mind playing it. It's gonna be
I really
Savjz
don't
versus
get
Forsen.
people. I really don't get teams that are not bringing Druid. It's like I can see the point that you sometimes don't have good matchups, but Druid is the class that you can tech so well. You either tech it against aggro and it does really well against aggro, or you tech it against control and it techs well against control.
MC Tech, right?
Yeah, well, MC tech.
I remember that guy just completely blowing up. Yeah, there's a few cards that you can put in Druid. There's a few flex spots that are easy to play with, which is pretty much the point you're making, I think. I just don't know how consistent it is. We were talking about this earlier, where the overall win rate of it in the league has been atrociously low, except for you. You're the exception to the rule, and a lot of teams are leaving it. It's like that 6th deck that nobody really wants to bring. What's your secret? That's what I need to figure out.
Yeah, well, one of the points is that you can tech it really well. If you face an aggro team, you put in MC techs or a zombie chow, and because Druid has always it is already really good against aggro with the innervate. And against control, you can when you are thinking, oh, this team plays more control decks, you just play with more minions in the deck. You try to make your curve a bit higher, and you tech these early minions out. That's like a really important thing. And yeah, there is some difference in how you play the game, of course, but I think Druid is a really top tier deck still.
Yeah, I think Druid is underrated by a lot of people. Just the stats don't lie.
But I can understand people hating playing it. Like, I can really understand that point that it's like a class you either hate or love, or there's not like something in the middle for Druid maybe.
Yeah, it's very polarized. So,
Savjz looks very confident in this matchup.
You mean? I
I
think
got
yeah.
you, Forsen.
I hope Forsen's game plan just shatters. He's the funniest player to see just crumble. I think. I don't think anybody makes as many good facial expressions as Forsen during a game.
It's very easy to read Forsen's lips when he's like cursing.
Yeah. This is a pretty good decent hand too for Savjz. He's got the board wipe, the double dark bomb to deal with some of the peskier minions you want to remove on their own. Yeah, this is not looking too bad for Savjz, and now Forsen might decide that he wants to put out. I mean, there's no reason not to play the Imp Gang boss here, I think, unless you want to go for that juggler imp. Weaker against
Savjz is still
Hellfire.
missing. I feel it. Savjz is still missing some of the key cards like Moltens. It's something you really want.
Do you sound off something with the owl here? Or do you really want to get the giant? Well, you can get it out anyway next turn. It's just about is owl worth it, or do you wait for the egg?
You might get better alls, I think.
Okay.
Like the egg, or maybe in Void Terror that goes really big. I think you can get better silence effects.
Yeah, Forsen's game plan is looking pretty sweet, man. He's picking up those premium cards. Imp Gang boss twice at this stage of the game is really good. You're protected against board wipes like Hellfire. Your only big weakness is a big Molten Taunt line. That's like the one thing you're really afraid of.
Wow, so many copies in this hand. Double Hellfire, double Belcher, double Giant.
Forsen probably doesn't run Direwolf because he has like the reverse placement is like the worst possible placement of minions.
Now, Forsen's got to be thinking that Savjz has Molten Giants, because otherwise, why would you tap? So maybe he's going to end up playing around them.
Yeah, it's so hard, like playing against handlock sometimes. Like, do you respect the Moltens or do you not respect it? And when you do not, when you're not respecting them, they just come with their double Moltens, and sometimes
you lose, right?
trading. Sometimes you're trading too much, and then at the end you see they don't have any Moltens at all. It's really hard. It's really hard.
And it's actually very, very unlikely.
He's got to make the
Statistically.
trade if he's... it's risky, but when
Yeah.
you see the handlock tap from 19 when you've got like 11 damage on board,
And
it's very fearless from the handlock to do so. So you've got to make the assumption maybe that he's holding those Moltens.
Yeah, you expect one usually, but two is still very unlikely.
Well,
but he decides to go for it.
let's see what happens next. Double Giant with Sun Fury looks like an okay play. I mean, that's 16 damage tanked. And it gives you a bit of time to maybe get a second Belcher line. You can find a Molten or a Healbot off the top.
But you all really like to just have one Molten here at least.
Yeah, it would be
So-
great. The
Forsen was
counter
not looking for a second. Yeah, it's the best play what Savjz could get to. Not sure if this is... There are so many knives that are gonna get in now with the Creeper maybe and the Imp Gang boss.
So this is the most awful... The funny thing is that rarely do you encounter double Mountain Taunt against Zoo.
Yeah.
At this stage, on turn 6, I don't think I've seen this in ages. Because very often, it's either Moltens or you're dead. And this is
It did change,
literally...
yeah.
This is really
This is-
unusual.
It's old school, man.
Yeah. Going back to like beta times. Wow. So do you buff the egg on the other side? Just to get the maximum... He can't even get through the mountains if everything goes well, right? Like, there's no way he can do it.
Oh, no Abusive Surgeon, no Power Overwhelming. He's missing these cards. I don't know how you do this here, man. It's
But
really...
if you
It's
want-
so complicated with the Imp Gang boss, the knives, and the
Yeah.
egg here.
But if he wants to sacrifice Gang Boss, he had to play it first.
Like, you
Yeah,
have to
sacrifice
sacrifice it first, right?
He's not
Because
getting
it's
knives
on
now.
take damage. It's not a death rattle. It's when literally... Oh, man.
Oh, he wanted also to play the...
He's gonna be fine. It seems he might snipe that 2-1. No, he doesn't. So that 2-1 is gonna stay on the board. And now the
That
Hellfire Dark
Hellfire.
Bomb is so vulnerable.
So risky.
Yeah, but what can you do? Not clearing this board is not
What
an
about
option.
you Dark Bomb the Void Call, the Void Walker, you heal bot, and you kill one of the imps? Is that better than Hellfire?
Then you
right
die
now?
to buff cards already. Like now you only die to a Doomguard top deck.
Yeah.
I would really for sure go for the board clear here.
You have to go for it.
There's only one card that kills you. It's Doomguard. Well, 2 cards because there are 2 in the deck. But
It's just-
what an awkward.
This is a really awkward spot, but I don't think there's two ways about it, unfortunately.
20
Yeah, the most
cards left.
unfortunate part is that he didn't get a Molten Giant by now. It's like, what you really need. You can clear stuff, but to get counter pressure, you need the Molten Giant.
Well, he could still put out, I guess, the Iron Beak Owl to silence the Void Walker and then attack into the 4/4 if he doesn't want to waste the Dark Pollen. So it's one or the other. 3 health Warlock. Let's see if Forsen can top deck and get lucky. No, that's not what he's looking for, and that's not it either. Wow. So Savjz has a really good chance of staying in this game and, you know, just taking it back.
Just seeing only 1 egg here on the board has to feel really good.
Yeah, nothing else means it's either buff cards or some kind of removal piece.
Yeah, it might be an all-in. That's a bit scary, maybe.
Not quite what he's looking for. Still not.
I can clear it. Okay.
2 damage.
Oh, never lucky. Never lucky.
He's not cursing yet. But I think the keyword is yet.
Savjz is still looking for just, where are my Moltens? I'm playing with Moltens, or am I wrong?
Yeah, it's like the old Gadgets and Auctioneer thing, right? You forgot to put them in the deck and you never
He's
draw
looking at
them.
his own cards. Where are my Moltens?
I've done that so many times. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with my Miracle list? It's not winning at all.
Like
When you look at your list. Yeah.
I
Like,
got
I'm a
sometimes
genius,
too.
man. You do that and
Yeah.
still in Patreon, forget to put patrons.
And then you look after 3 or 4 games, I put them in right, or am I really wrong? And then you look, no, they are in. I just
Yeah,
don't-
you felt like a genius because you're like, I managed to fit in 2 rampages in that patron list on top of everything else. So you feel like a genius for a few games, but then you never find patrons and you wonder where they went. Well, they became rampages. That's what happened.
I think,
So-
even though you're tempted to go for the Belcher here, I think if you play Healbot, you're really out of range against everything. Oh, okay.
Owl
Like-
Doomguard is... This is dangerous. Owl
But,
Doomguard is
yeah.
such a... Oh my god. He's doing it.
It's like if you go for the Belcher or for the Healbot, the opponent has no chance to win. But now,
This
you
looks like
give your
a
opponent-
fancy play. It looks like a fancy play more so than a guaranteed one.
Shield for
I mean, he's still gonna win, I think, overall, right? Like, his turn 10 is still solid. The
Yeah,
Healbot,
the turn 10 is
Belcher,
gonna be good, because you can play Healbot with a Belcher, for example.
But this could have gone to a disaster.
But he's like calculating the odds. He only loses to Owl into Doomguard.
Yeah, and you cannot tap anymore if the red goes face. If it kills a minion, it kills a minion. It's
Right, right.
They are all the buff cards that he needed earlier in the game to trade better in the Giants.
I still maintain that Forsen has the best face when he's going up against just about anything, really. Poor Forsen.
Wow, and Savjz taking this without even playing Molten Giants against ZjoW. It doesn't really happen often that you win this matchup without getting Molten Giants.
He was right to feel confident. I mean, that picture just said everything, right? He did get Forsen pretty good. No Moltens needed. That's the... Just to rub it in, you know? Well played by Savjz right there. So...
They also see how favorite handlock is in that matchup against ZjoW.
Right. I think it's pretty favored. Like, what is it, like 70-30? It's ridiculous. Isn't it?
Ty should know he plays a lot of handlock.
Yeah, well, I think it's, if you know it's a ZjoW, like the problem what I have, at least on the ladder, I go on the ladder and you don't know what the Warlock it is, and you mulligan greedy or you mulligan wrong a lot of times. You don't keep your Moltens, for example. It's kind of tricky, but it's favored for the handlock for sure.
Alright, so if you knew what the matchup was, it would be super favored, but going in blind
Yeah.
is more difficult.
I think on the ladder it's a bit less than 70, but in tournament play, and you know it is, then it is probably 70%. But it was a pretty important win, like the Warrior was already out, and there were not many good matchups for the handlock at all for Team Liquid, so it was a pretty important win there.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that ZjoW was probably one of the best decks to face, if not the best deck to face with his handlock.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's one of the better matchups we've got overall. Mech Shaman can punish you pretty hard if they get a decent start.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of the craziest blowouts sometimes, and you can't tap because you risk dying at any moment. It's very scary.
Yeah. It's really hard to play against mech decks when you are playing handlock. Like they either go really fast, and sometimes you just have to hope. Like mech decks are either, if they get their really aggressive curve, it's really hard to handle them well. So what will it mean? They will. I can see maybe Team Liquid will just put on SjoW here again, or maybe they want to try out. It's always good to have all your players getting on one win. It's really risky for Forsenboys to get Forsen in now, because if Forsen loses, you have Forsen benched, and then the Liquid can maybe, because Forsen still has 2 classes open. It is a bit risky maybe.
The biggest problem for Liquid will really be to get a win on the Mech Shaman, because it doesn't seem to have any good matchups here. The best matchup will be the Mirror against Ostkaka.
And mech against mechs.
If that is your best matchup, then
yeah,
good luck.
Like, how is Mech Shaman against Mech Mage? I cannot see that matchup being really favored for one of them. It's like mechs against mechs.
Mech Mage is the favorite against any aggro deck right now, because it has simply the best 1-drops in the game. It plays Mana Worm and Cockmaster.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's different now.
Yeah. Like, it is even favored against Hunter, and it was never favored against Hunter before. Just because you have so many good 1-drops.
We assume Forsen's playing freeze deck, right? Like, I know he's been...
He played already.
No,
the
he
Mech
played it
Mage.
already. He plays the Mech Mage.
He played it against the freeze mage of Neirea, and he went for
Oh,
the
you're
double
right.
Fell
You're
Reaper.
right. He went for the double Fell Reaver and got milled. Wow, that was so quick. I don't even remember it. Holy crap. Yeah, how often do you lose your deck by like...
Well,
3
if you
turns
play
of
a
the
double
mage?
Fell Reaper, it happens pretty often, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
Pretty good
Unstable
start.
Portal is also a game-winning card in some cases, right? Like, it can create a huge swing, and last time Forsen played it, didn't do anything, unfortunately, so... Maybe just
SjoW
getting a
was
mid-range minion might have been better.
What is interesting, SjoW was shaking his head. Maybe he's also just listening to music like Neirea.
yeah. I think this hand is amazing from SjoW.
Yeah, yeah,
you get,
exactly.
You get double, you have the coin, and you have double 2-drops, and you have the 3-drops to react, and
He looks so unhappy, but that is like, maybe because of the matchup?
he is the hunter, right? Yeah, he's the hunter.
Yeah. I mean, that
course.
is so good.
I'm surprised.
Forsen
Maybe it's just
taking-
me, but he looks very unhappy.
He keeps saying, no, 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 I refuse
think
to
it's-
coin out this knife juggler. I refuse. I don't want to play this guy.
It's like, you don't have the first blood. You don't have the first blood? No, you don't.
I like the coin out knife juggler. Like, if there
Okay,
comes a mech,
SjoW needs to
it's great.
stop doing this. This is disturbing. I can't focus on the game anymore.
You can look to Forsen, he's eating something. Like, it's all.
I eat you up, man.
Yeah.
Alright, here it comes. Here it comes. What is this?
Go, esports.
Oh my god! This could be completely busted.
Oh my god.
The dream, the possible dream.
Sometimes slightly fortunate.
It's gonna happen after Fell Reaver. So if everything goes wrong for Forsen, he's always got a backup plan, and it hits for a lot of damage. But now, how does he even handle that Huffer?
Huffer is too
Whoa.
huge.
Summon a random huffer.
He has to ping it. His hand sucks.
Well, it's gonna get good.
You can
Like if you
can
find a
make-
3-drop ish.
Oh no, you cannot steal the Deathwing because you're gonna discard it first. That sucks.
Yeah, you can't.
It's a pretty cool fantasy play too.
Oh my god!
man.
Oh,
Never
the
mind.
huffers,
We're
man.
never gonna see Deathwing.
GG.
Yeah, it's over.
It's like you can't beat that.
Yeah. Forsen's talking to someone in his room.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, look what just happened. Double Huffer. Never ever lucky.
Ah, emergency coolant. That's gonna do something one day.
And you have to
Just
ping.
bad. Like, he has no play.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
Just compare it. Like, instead of playing lower tap, he has to ping it and not develop the board. That's like so bad.
What's your next turn? Like, you have to freeze the
one of
opponent's
your
face.
expensive minions, I think. It's so
Yeah,
many
but
expensive
it's-
minions in his hand. He can never play a good Deathwing.
It's still mediocre, right? Like you're about to die. This Deathwing had to be a heal bot to be good. Yeah,
Or
there's
just
no
an
way.
early minion. Like, he didn't play any minion for 2 turns in a row now. It's... He needed a Blast Mage together with the Clockwork Gnome to deal with the Huffer and the Worgen last turn. So yeah, now you are forced to either freeze it or ping it down.
Yeah, I think pinging it down anyways doesn't matter because you can always stealth your spider tank, I guess. For all that's worth. I mean, you could play like a 5-drop which is plus freeze, and that might be a tiny bit better because you're actually putting on the race. You could try getting a vitality totem from a powdered sky golem, spawning a shredder, spawning a vitality totem. Otherwise, I don't see how you're supposed to stay alive.
I mean, at this point, you just hope the hunter has the worst draws he ever had in his life.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to block the damage output, I guess.
You should just play Deathwing for funsies.
Ironbeak Owl. Oh. Yeah, I guess you play the bow, right? Might as well, right? Because you can play 5 damage now and another 5 afterwards, and guarantee lethal just off of your own weapons.
Well, there is the Lota being played already, so you can just play your spells. Should already be enough, but yeah, maybe it's. He could also attack with the bow a lot this turn already.
He's gonna have to play Deathwing just for the fun of it. Come on, Forsen.
Come on.
Oh, never mind. Maybe not.
Dad, do it. Dad, do it. Play Deathwing.
Of course, you attack to see, just to scout the trap, but doesn't matter. He loses. The hunter will be gone.
Well, he might think that the Annoyatron can do something here.
So he's not dead on board just yet, but we'll never
he
see
can't-
Deathwing. And I have to
But
say,
he
I'm
can't-
disappointed.
You can never win mathematically.
Well, I mean,
you're dead
you
in
could-
2 turns. Well, if
Yeah.
you top like a fireball here, it's.
Yeah, you
Nice.
could win if there's no explosive
Yeah.
trap.
Alright. If all cards would be dead cards. I can't imagine, like, I know the list, like, what, 2 Haunter Creepers, I guess, with
200 creepers, 1 mad scientist, and
2 abusive.
Yeah,
2 abusive,
like,
2 Haunter Creeper. There you go.
yeah, complete
So-
garbage.
Alright.
What this actually means, and it might be really important, is that Forsen is benched now, and he's benched with 2 classes. So their team Forsenboys is only left with 2 classes here.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. We've seen this happen before, and it was the prelude to a great disaster. So let's hope for Forsenboys that this doesn't go that way. Team Liquid still has, all the options. They're going to be able to target their opponents quite nicely.
Yeah.
Hunter
There
or
will be
Shaman.
Hunter or Shaman now, so.
Warrior? Oh, wow, that's really awkward, actually. They can't quite target as well as they'd like, I'm sure. This lineup doesn't do as well.
Forsen got insanely unlucky that matchup with those draws. It's like
Would you
super-
try out Warrior here? Like, is this the most consistent out of the 3 decks? Because Druid doesn't look to me like it's going to do so well. Shaman could be a toss-up.
I
Like,
mean-
Mech Shaman's okay against more aggressive variants of Hunter, so it's okay.
I mean, Forsen has Zoo and Mech Mage. When else do you want to play the Druid if not now? Like, it
Yeah.
really looks like it's gonna be impossible to get a win on the Druid and the Shaman.
Don't kill the dream, Gara. I'm
Just
telling you,
imagine
the caster
ima-
curse power is too high. We need to stop this. Somebody silence him.
Just think about it. Mech Mage and Zoo are locked and you still don't want to queue your Druid.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
That has to feel bad.
Yeah.
It's like the Druid against Zoo is actually pretty okay now. Now the Zoo is really slower than how it was in the old days. But yeah, it's like, when are you gonna bring? But there are only like 3, like there are 4 aggro decks left from. So I really expect that the Druid from Neirea is at least a bit anti-aggro. Then you're facing
Yeah.
Forsenboys, you kinda can expect some more aggressive
Honestly,
decks.
the Druid against the Hunter is not so bad against the Chakki's version because it doesn't run high mans and those mid-range threats.
Well,
And
if it
this
is
is like,
Space Hunter, it's pretty okay, yeah.
yeah, it's really not that bad. Like, you just need an innovate basically.
But the Mech Shaman is like maybe the worst out of the 4, so.
It's
Not
like
sure.
all of those matchups suck.
The thing with Druid is it's like always, or almost always between 40 and 60%. Like, it doesn't really have insanely terrible matchup, but it doesn't really have good matchups either.
Oh man, there's a motorcycle right now. Just show me the power of man-made inventions. I don't know what to do.
Okay,
Well-
so it is the Warrior against the Shaman.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna try to get another win with the Warrior. The Druid from Neirea, if it proves to be a really big problem, I mean, that's just gonna lock Team Liquid from getting the win. And
if
that happens,
they will go 5-2 again, and now then there is Druid left. Like they had it already once with Savjz, just being like really ahead, and then the Druid was left.
yeah, and they just got reverse sweeps basically. That's a decent start for the Shaman player too. So that's gonna
And
be
no
a little
weapon
rough
for
without.
SjoW.
Yeah. The Ghoul's not too bad, but I don't think... Then again, you know, between Slam and the Ghoul, I think he's gonna be fine. Like, this looks a bit dramatic, but it's really not that bad just yet. I like this play. It's forcing him to play a mech to kill the Ghoul with a Cogmaster, and if he does that, then you can slam that mech, whatever it is. Never mind.
Or you play Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, or you play that.
I don't know if
works too.
that's even worth it, but...
I don't think so, but do you want to put the Mech Warper on 2 health?
You are also taking an overload, so...
What if you just hero power and attack the Ghoul? Is that even that bad? I mean, if you get Searing Totem, you can kill that Ghoul. If you get healing, you bring back the Cogmaster to full
I
health.
think you play it way too passive as an aggro deck against Patron. You just have to go. You just have to play aggressively and hope they don't have answers, I think.
Yeah, he agrees apparently, so... Onwards we go. The Armor Smith, another really awful pickup from Ostkaka's perspective.
Yeah, that is like the nightmare draw.
Yeah, that's a really good pickup here.
With that play, he keeps the Cogmaster alive for potential Acolyte turn 3. But even, like, if SjoW draws the Armor Smith on turn 2, there's just nothing in his hand he could even do to, like, prevent that play. Or he could have changed anything.
Right. He would have had to have the Lightning Bolt from the last turn anyway. Like, even if he got here double Mech Warper, it still wasn't enough to stop the potential drawback of it. So he's going to try to get a Totem. If it's a Stoneclaw, it could be good. Healing's fine. And it's fine.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, decent outcome there.
And, well, I actually like the play just because of his hand where he has all the mechs. Like, he can just play double Mech Warper with the Spider Tank all together next turn. And go for the turn 5 Leroy.
And he can also draw like a Neutron or something. Like whatever 2-cost minion. Too bad.
This is so scary. Like anything you do.
Well, I think you just play all the mechs here, right? Is there any way you cannot go for all the
you
mechs
play
here?
everything and face.
Yeah. You try. You hope your top deck like double Crackle, double Burst, and Rockbiter.
Turn
Doom
5 you go Leroy.
Yeah. This deck goes all in so fast.
Yeah, but
it's
like
such an
it is
insane...
like it is like it is like the strategy normally of the mech shaman. You at some point, sometimes it's turn 1 or turn 2, sometimes it's turn 5. You just hope they don't have the answer they can have.
Smart.
And here we go with that Death Bite. I think SjoW's gonna make small work of this board, but Ostkaka's gonna have to go all in, and it might pay off. I mean, there's a chance that he just doesn't get double Whirlwinded out of the game.
That Frothing is, by the way, really good on this board too, because it trades with
insane.
the mech. It is so much better than an Acolyte will have been here, because that will just die to the Cogmaster, and the Cogmaster will heal back.
And now, Ostkaka going all in again with the Leroy? Or is that too dangerous because of the AoE? Because the AoE from Death's Bite would kill you, right?
That
like,
Yeti is a really good pickup. Yeah, the Leroy. It even gives the 1/1s that makes armor, that makes better trades on board. It's
yeah,
the Yeti is really
good
here.
You hope to go get a Taunt Totem, play the Yeti, and trade the Cogmaster into the Frothing and go face again.
The Taunt is the only good totem, right? It's
Yeah.
the 1/1 is the terrible one.
The Taunt Totem prevents a lot of damage.
Yeah, the 1/1 is so terrible into the Death Bite. Does nothing.
It's useless.
So yeah, the Yeti is also. It also died. Yeah, and the Death Bite is so insane. The Death Bite is so insane.
It is actually even okay to attack with the Mech Warper into the Armor Smith because you have a heal totem out.
Yeah, you can
basically
damage it right now.
And also, like right now, there's no point in just going smart because he has the Armor Smith. You have to kill the Armor Smith.
This is looking so difficult with the Patron coming out. There's almost no way that Ostkaka can handle those in a situation like this. He'd need like a Flame Tongue with minions left alive. And an extra bit of removal from hand. It's just not happening.
I really like how SjoW is playing here with the patrons. Like just getting 2 patrons already. This is already enough value in this matchup for getting your patrons.
So will we see the kill the armor smith Leroy face, hope to top deck Doomhammer and win the game play?
Here's only one.
I can
one
see that
draw.
play.
He basically has only one draw to draw the Doomhammer, but sheer block will seal the game. It's over. There's like nothing that can happen at Ostkaka.
And there's also a ghoul, so even if there's a Doomhammer, it's gonna take a turn to kill the ghoul.
But I think
It's gonna be really hard.
Playing his outs, Ostkaka is definitely going to try to remove the armor smith at least now that Patron's out. So at least he'll be trying to do that and get Leroy out for face damage, basically. He's going to wait it out a little bit longer, it seems. So he's going to play the game a bit slower. Does he just lava burst the 3-3?
He's gonna play the control game, I think.
It looks
By
like
just killing the patrons here.
Yeah, but that will not help.
It's gonna be really hard to win the control game.
It's like a deck that relies on top decking against a deck that has like 8
all the draw
card draw mechanics and wants to stall the game.
Yeah, you've given him a good reason to just keep turtling up.
Yeah, because he used rock bite that is like 0%.
Yeah,
You can give the ghoul an extra attack here. That's awesome.
That's really good. That's actually really
Oh my
powerful.
Yeah, that's really good.
I can't believe this. So the spare parts tell you who gave them to you now. That's pretty... Oh, wow. Well, that's a top deck.
Yeah,
Unfortunately for him, the Mech Warper is still going to be executable after this.
Yeah, but do you want to execute if there are also Fel Reavers in the deck? I'm not really sure if you even want that.
You'll just slam it anyway. He's got options.
I don't even know if there are Fel Reavers. There might
No,
be.
there are no Fel Reavers.
Then you can just execute it, actually.
Or you let it get buffed up and then he wastes the execute. Like, he wastes his buff because you're executing it.
Maybe he's gonna inner rage his own armor smith here to get him draw, but the point is that it then will die to the power, but you cycle your deck a bit more.
Yeah, I think what he's looking to do here is to bait the buff to go on the Mech Warper and then do the execute play. Unless he wants to prevent that altogether, but then if a Shredder comes out, that's a 6-5. That's a bit more problematic than a little Mech Warper. Oh, well that could have been useful, you know, ages ago.
So nothing to buff here for Ostkaka.
You kill that 3-3 and you just go full Leroy and then you buff up your totem.
But you give him also, yeah. If he's gonna make a totem here and he's gonna get him 1-1, then it will be really bad for him. Because then there are already 1-1s that can trade into the taunt here. Oh,
no,
you
you buff it up with the armor plating and you're fine.
Oh,
You
no.
buff the Leroy.
Yeah, but he can still like he can just go Warzone Patron, and the 1-1s are all trading already into the.
No, I thought he would buff
his.
his. I thought he would.
So he gets like another extra Patron, and that extra Patron is really painful here, I think.
Yeah, I really thought he would buff the Stoneclaw totem.
Still a really good play by Ostkaka. Like from his position, it was like impossible.
Like, imagine if the display was not here now, then it's would have been really hard.
Could he realistically still win? Like, he would have to play a weird variant with Lightning Storm and pick up Rockbiter into Crackle, basically.
Oh, this hand from SjoW is really bad. I mean, double execute is not something you want.
And he can remove the
Noyatron
patron,
is not
right?
what you want, but
He can
you
deal
will
with the
never
patron.
play a Noyatron here.
Well, yeah, you kill the patron, and you do. Of course you do. You wouldn't? Okay, maybe not.
But how does... okay,
So-
the Doomhammer are 16 damage, so that's something.
I mean, if you're not gonna play a Noyatron, then you're not killing the patron.
I mean, he could have another patron, and then you just give him a full board for free. Like, if you can't kill the Warsong, you don't play the Anoitron. It only saves you, like, 3 life at best and doesn't really do anything. And it can auto-lose you the game.
Alright. Depending on whether or not they've got a second copy. Alright,
Yeah.
fine.
Or if
The
he,
more you
if he
go-
just
You're right,
has, like,
that's
an
a good, that's a
Acolyte.
great point. You're
If
right.
he just has an Acolyte, he just draws a couple of free cards.
Mhm.
But we know from SjoW, like, there is already double Patron and a Frauding gone, so there is not even much in his deck left. Like, maybe Ostkaka can even take this control game. It sounds weird, but I can even see it happening.
If this
here.
is... I was gonna say, if this is Stoneclaw, this actually could have been super. He might actually be able to pull it off. He's gonna get Zap-O-Matic attacks here.
Okay, this is insane. If he wins this, that's actually really insane.
Yeah, this is possible still.
Because it really looks super bad.
The dream is still a lot. Never mind.
But there's like so many. Is he probably even gonna? Oh, he might just slam to cycle. The annoying.
Yeah.
SjoW will use this slam to cycle for sure with this hand, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, but then you have to execute the Annoyotron. Otherwise, you can't kill the 3/2.
Wow, Ostkaka took so much face damage as well. He has only 7 life.
Control Mech Shaman is the new meta game. I'm loving
so
this
funny.
game so far. I think you have to slam the Whirling though. As much as I'd like to cycle.
Really?
But
Yeah,
you
what
can
do you
also
save
kill
the
it with the
executes for?
weapon. You have to execute. You got kill with the 1/1. You got slam and just trade with the weapon, and
Yeah.
then you had the 1/1 to execute it.
Oh man, Ostkaka is in such a great spot right now. This is
Well, but
completely
you can't.
insane.
I don't know if this is correct to save the executes. You have no enablers. Like, what do you do with it?
I will.
Oh,
I will
I
for
think
sure use
SjoW-
one.
I just saw like SjoW just slammed his own head, so I think he realized maybe a bit too late, or maybe that was a shredder making him slap his own face. That's one card. Needs to find a whirlwind to execute that shredder, and then Zap-O-Matic comes out. That's not the card he's looking for, but it might help a bit later.
Well, with unfrothing and wind, it's gonna be enough already.
Ostkaka
because-
could take this. I can't believe this. This is
Yeah,
insane.
it's.
This is so crazy. Actually, can Ostkaka lose this? What would SjoW need to have? Like whirlwind doesn't. I mean, it helps a little bit.
Whirlwind with unfrothing is enough. But
Yeah,
you
biggest
need to draw
mistake-
2 cards.
Biggest mistake was really to save the executes for no reason.
Okay, so I think I might have made that exact same mistake in many cases.
It's like it just doesn't do anything, especially when you have no enabler. When he used the last weapon charge and he used the slam, so he needs to draw an enabler for execute.
Crackle is a 50% insta win. Fire Guard is not it. Whirlwind's still a great card for SjoW to pick up, but then he's losing to so many top decks. It's starting to get really scary.
But in this case, you can really see that like the executes, even though he's playing big minions, you want to execute. The executes is still that card in his hand, just because he doesn't.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. He should have executed the Annoyotron. You're right.
Hmm.
He's thinking
So-
about just lava bursting the minion.
So you just
Yeah.
don't do the lava burst for the face?
He's scared of dying, obviously. He has 7 life and only the one Tron Totem to protect him. He has to kill the minion, but he's really like thinking about what is the best way. I'm not sure if using like the shredder was better.
He wanted to get something out of the shredder, but
So Whirlwind is still a really great card.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
so just drawing an Whirlwind next turn is already enough, right?
Does he could get a Death Bite as well, right? Do like one
But that
turn.
might be
Does he live that long?
But
I don't
that's
think
not
so.
enough.
He needs to survive, and the deck has like
Is he gonna
Sicilian damage.
survive?
He has 9
Actually,
damage.
he's 2 off lethal right now, right?
Yeah, 2 off.
If that Fire Guard Destroyer had been good at rolling high, wait, actually he's got it, isn't he? He's got
No,
like
no,
2
he's
damage
2
up
damage
next
up.
turn. There's no way he loses next turn unless Whirlwind is picked up.
Yeah, maybe another
Or-
a ghoul.
No, anything chargeable, right? Should that not be enough?
No, because you have to trade in the taunt totem, and
Oh,
then
Okay,
it
it's
goes
not
only
enough
to a 4 attack. It goes only to 4 the frothing.
Yeah, it's not enough. Both execute just.
But that we already saw the. I don't think we saw any WoW in the yet, right?
we haven't seen any that I remember.
I cannot remember at least. So
Little time.
Maybe there was one played with the Whirlwind Acolyte, but that was another game from SjoW, so no.
yeah.
I'm gonna say no. And there's like 2 cards left in SjoW's deck that could make this work. Now he's evaluating whether or not his opponent using a weapon to attack into something might matter. And turns out he just wants to go face, and oh my god, the blowout here
Oh,
from
this
SjoW.
has to.
No
Oh.
justice.
This has to sting from Ostkaka's perspective. Played such a nice control
Cannot
Mech
believe
Shaman
he
game.
did this.
And the frothing again, taking the win. Where it's
Oh.
It's patron
Oh,
last.
look, SjoW. Oh, I cannot believe this. Like, Ostkaka played this so well. He played it.
Yeah.
We saw no win condition for him anymore, and he made it even happen to made it really favorable for him in an insanely bad spot. And
I'm impressed with Ostkaka's play.
I'm really impressed by Ostkaka play. I cannot believe this, and then getting it taken away this way has to feel really hard.
Yeah,
Esports.
I'm not even satisfied with his soul being crushed right now. I'm actually a little bitter about it. I wish that had been like a crazy Mech Shaman comeback after a horrible start, but that wasn't the case. So Team Liquid gives SjoW the check mark with that win, and that leaves Savjz and Neirea to go forward. So there's a Druid left for Neirea. We've talked about this. This could prove to be their downfall, and they've got the advantage over Forsenboys as far as, I guess, bench.
Druid
Not
and
that it
Shaman
matters
are a
too
bit
much.
the same, right? They can both be really hard against that lineup.
Yeah. I guess you can always just throw whatever you've got and hope that the Mech Shaman just draws like a god. I don't know. What do I want here? I don't think Druid is particularly good.
Maybe at this moment you don't really look at the way from what is the best matchup against Hunter and Shaman. What is the best to play now that will be really bad against Mage and Warlock? So go with the deck that you think that will never win against Mage and Warlock, or is it might? I can see them bringing Druid here, but I can also really like it's really close. All the matchups that they have left are a bit
The thing
unfavorite.
is, like, it's all about, like, we've talked about this, right? For this match, what matters is who ends up winning, right? Forsenboys needs to not end up with a win, because otherwise they will pass and Hillam, right? Team Liquid is ultimately still stuck in Redemption, even if they win this one. So this Druid deck needs to get a win. Like, you're kind of concerned by this, Thais, right? Like, this is a big deal if Team Liquid takes the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I can like Druid and Mech Shaman are both decks that can just at some moment they can go. It is a deck you can 4-0, so it is a bit scary what they have left, but of course it's still a good spot you're in with 4-2, and it's really I think it's really not likely that a Druid will draw really poorly 4 games in a row against an aggressive deck, but it might happen.
It's another decent matchup for Forsenboys actually, because actually for Liquid, because from all those decks that are left, I would really like to face the Hunter with my Druid.
Yeah, and if you know that Chakki is playing a more aggressive Hunter, at least an Face Hunter to a Hybrid Hunter, it gets better for Druid. Druid has a way harder time against mid-range Hunter that has always the freezing traps, has the high mains, has the Hunter's Mark on their big towns.
Chakki has not changed his list in 7 weeks of Archon League. It was always the same list. So you know exactly what you're up against.
I think they're still switching up some traps sometimes. At least that they then sometimes have an freezing or an explosive.
Okay. that was
Change the plans right there. Apparently Ostkaka's coming back out with a Shaman with a possible double bench happening. Well, I don't know if that'll happen, but it could be glorious.
Let's change the good matchup to the worst possible matchup.
Yeah. Or maybe
Roll 7.
good
Attack.
point. That's right.
Get BGH'd.
BGH is gone from a lot of lists though. Like people aren't taking it in as much as they used to. Unless I'm mistaken, Thais. Is that the case?
I think
Druids.
because at least here, I think on ladder there are still a lot of BGHs, but here when people are not really playing handlock, and people are even cutting boom out of hunters and out of sometimes even out of druids, and people are not playing druid at all. Like there's like really not much value anymore for BGH. So yeah, we are also starting sometimes cutting it.
But Druid is one of those classes, when you cut BGH, you get like super punished by...
Yeah, like Druid is a class that doesn't have removal himself, so Druid is like really needed to play the BGH a lot of times.
That's a pretty decent hand from Ostkaka, but this is a star that Neirea can't, you know, let fall behind. But this is exactly the situation I was talking about, like, exactly this.
That's
Like
exactly that.
Mechwhopper, Coin, and Noyotron, and this is it. Like 2 of your turns are just put in, I guess, a trust fund for the future where you have absolutely nothing to do until then.
Well, it's still okay. I mean, it's better than passing turn hero power
Of course it is.
shapeshift.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to just take this.
Right. But it's still like the best case scenario is still not amazing. Is kind of what
The
I was
keeper
getting
will
at.
be not really good here either. I think the shredder is actually pretty
Yeah.
amazing. You cannot keep her turn 2 phase.
I would not complain about the Neirea Shredder into Shade.
Yeah. I'll take it. The good thing is the BGH might also be taking care of that Fireguard Destroyer if it ends up being played.
If it will be in 7-6.
But
yeah,
the Shaman
there's a
has,
25% chance this game gets turned around the moment that Fireguard hits the board.
But the Shaman has his own little innovate.
Right.
So what will you want? Do you really? A power mace will be really nice here, right? Depends.
You'd
I
rather play a
think
minion.
Yeah, Shredder is pretty okay here. Yeti is okay too. But do you trade in the Shredder yourself now?
I think you want to force the mech to do it. The druid, the problem is if you do that, then you're giving him a decent value trade on the shredder, because he takes the Noyotron and then takes the mech warper with the shade. I could see an argument for trading, but how do you win with that if the druid
think
has a
if
tempo?
it would be too greedy for the Druid to not ref the Mechwhopper last turn and play the Shade over, so you can kind of expect him to not have the ref in his hand. But he
This
could
is-
always have a swipe.
Yeah.
The play
That's
Ostkaka's
dangerous.
shop made now is just putting that Fireguard Destroyer on the board and making it a 7-6. Now the
But-
BGH is...
Neirea's
The-
board is very scary right now. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do anything to it. All your plays are very, very awkward.
And that was why the trade maybe last turn was really hard. I mean, I think Ostkaka made the right decision, but there were a lot of things you could consider there trading. Maybe it's hard.
I think it's time to bring back the Earthshock top decks.
Yeah, Lightning Storm also good here.
Kill the 4/2, get a Bluegill Warrior, and you're good to go, right?
Get him to kill warrior.
You know, I'll take that. I'm gonna take that if I'm a mech shaman. I'm happy with this outcome.
4-6.
That's
Worst, man. This Sludge Belcher is so
Never
nasty.
lucky.
Misplay, no Bluegill Warrior.
Yeah,
But
this
like it is
shredder
really bad now here because you don't even trade into the shredder. Like it's really bad.
Yeah, this
Misplay.
Belcher is just a full-on.
If it was a 5-6, it was so much better.
It's so funny because like so many people mention it, the Shredder placement. How many people actually do that? Like not care about the Shredder placement.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about Flame Tongue Totem
It's-
or Direwolf.
There are so many situations when there is a shredder on board. You take so many possible situations from Doomsayers, Totems,
Yeah.
Warwalker Cho. Like you have everything in mind that you were just let's just play all my minions so I don't get wrecked by a mana ref or an Warwalker Cho or whatever. So yeah, it's man Shredder. From one way, I really love that card, man. But from another way, I
know,
hate it the most.
I'm gonna solve the problem, and I'm just gonna design a card that says when this minion is on the side of the board, it does something. So it's gonna be a 2-drop that gives like +1 attack to everything if it's on the side. So now you have to weigh whether or not you want Flame Tongue or Direwolf or a Raid Leader attack.
But it's not only the shredder. Like I play a lot of freeze match also on ladder, and then when you are playing with a Con of Cold, like nobody's playing with it because maybe they don't see it often enough. But
Yeah, Power Shot's gonna teach you some lessons coming up in TGT. I feel hunters are gonna teach people positioning.
oh wow, this is really bad for Neirea. He needs to He gives just a turn away because he has too many 7 drops.
I think he's fine though, right?
He was in a really good spot, but this turn, like, just pass.
Just like a 4 or 5 drop would already be fine, but...
Is it really that bad though? I mean, there's no
No.
Hex. Earth Shock is the worst, and you can then Ancient of Lore for either double heal or draw 2 cards. So I think no matter what, he's still in an okay position. It just sucks for him that he's giving the opponent the initiative.
Yeah, Ancient of War is huge. Like, to break through that with... It's
A
just...
Yeti? That's it. Like, good luck. It's gonna
I'm
be
not
really
sure
rough.
if you play Lore or War here, like both are so good.
Oh,
Oh,
what a
good.
great card from Neirea here against a Shaman.
If that Doom camera... Oh, that's...
That's a.
Well,
that's a
this
good
is the way
block.
Neirea can still lose, actually, if there are coming
Yeah.
so many mechs on the board. But yeah, there's no much buffs at all, so...
Also the Anoitron in addition to all that stuff. Druid
Yeah.
is super bad to deal with
Yeah.
this board.
I hate that card. Whenever I play Druid, this gives me headaches.
Is it annoying? Like...
Do you think?
But he has
Just
also
the sound
still...
makes it already annoying.
Oh,
But
that's
the
a good pickup.
But the Druid has
Oh
so
my
much
God.
life.
No, this swipe.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it-
insane.
This swipe is
Right.
insane, potentially, right?
It's so good because it trades with another Tron and you kill another minion, so...
The
But
question
isn't
is whether or not you wait, right? Do you wait?
I don't think so.
Waiting doesn't really make sense against Shaman, right? It's not like a Paladin that has a lot of 1/1s. So... But yeah,
So he's-
your board is already so good, like, and the Innervate might be really valuable later.
It's hard
does
not
it
to
do
get
later?
good value out of it. I don't know, you play Ancient of Lore, you thought like a Belcher, you innervate it out, I guess. It acts as a Wrath, you could actually get a free Wrath with it. Whereas you can play your swipe on curve anyway with Lothab and you're still gonna be fine. This is so rough for Ostkaka.
Maybe he wants to play lower into lower tab.
That's a great play, see? It puts 2 bodies on the board, setting up for a huge Savage Orb potentially. And 2 minions extra for the Druid is gonna make that prospect even scarier. You've got to trade, right? Like, you're dead to... Are you dead to Savage Orb, Force of Nature
But
here?
that's the problem. The Druid has so much life. Just going phase just doesn't make sense. And it worked out really well. His playstyle against the Patron, he almost won like an unwinnable match.
So it really
Well-
paid off here for Neirea waiting with the swipe. Like now he gets a really good swipe by clearing the whole board except the totem. Or no, even he can even kill the totem.
You
That's
can kill
amazing.
everything, yeah. +1 attack, because why not? Full clear gets a Shredder, has a 5/1. Shaman has no way to deal with those unless he picks up Earth Shock. And then I think Neirea can almost autopilot to the win.
Like at this moment there is, because Neirea knows there's also one spare part, there's only one card that can destroy you and that's a Doomhammer, I think. Because that's the only card that deals a lot of damage.
Yeah, and you can
Overextends.
answer it, so you don't really care.
This is why it's so risky. It's such a great example why Druid is still such a great deck. It's like when you rely on locking out a Druid with multiple decks. I mean, they are all favored, like the Zoo, the Mech Mage and stuff. But then Druid just comes, gets the turn 1 Shredder or turn 2 Shredder and just wins one of those unfavorable matchups and then what?
And now there's going to be a Shaman potentially in a mirror match later on. Because that's what's left for
Shaman.
Savjz, I think, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
if
only
if
Shaman.
Neirea takes this, there's only one Shaman left, and it's possible that Team Liquid's able to knock out Forsenboys' lineup.
I mean, this is
And-
over.
But Ostkaka is benched. And
Right.
Forsen is still benched already earlier, so...
Yeah, it's Shaman
they are
versus
forced
Shaman,
to go
man.
with the Hunter from Chakki. Well, it's not bad to go then Hunter, but
Oh, the throw.
it's so
I
funny.
don't I don't like it. I really, really don't like playing as Hunter versus Mech Shaman. It's a matchup I will bear with, but I think overall Mech Shaman can punish me very hard. Like it really depends.
Isn't it the same in the other perspective too, that the Hunter can really punish?
Right. It
I'm
depends
not
on the
sure.
list from Chakki. He's got. He
It's
plays
an
like
aggressive
hybrid,
Hunter.
right? Not full face.
You're 80% favorite this Hunter.
Against Mech?
Yeah. You have too many dead cards. And Hunter just has like Mech Shaman is really bad against early game minions, like any aggro
Interesting.
deck.
Well, I guess mid-range hunter is where the weakness is at, right? Because I don't find it particularly compelling to play.
Mid-range hunter's
Like
not so-
mid-range hunter is hell against mech shaman. I hate
Yeah,
playing
no,
that.
it's, no.
It's a nightmare.
I mean hybrid hunter.
So. I think he's gonna trade probably here, just because he can. I mean, I think that, yeah, like what do you do otherwise here? It's the moment you can only win if you, or you can only lose if you don't make a trade, or if you're gonna suicide your own shredder maybe. Like, don't suicide your shredder, please. It's, you will see that Doomsayer coming out.
And then he draws a Doom Hammer.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna attack with this shredder first. I don't.
Yeah, I don't want
to.
to risk this. No reason to lose the game unnecessarily.
He was probably. Let's see if you trade this. I mean, you put 10 damage out. What can a Mech Shaman do with one draw? Low tap. Not good enough.
I have to wonder what Ostkaka's top curve looks like in that shaman. Like, does he play Ragnaros in that deck? Does he play Doctor
No.
Boom?
No, if you play with the Leroy low tap version, you don't even play fire elementals. Like, it's really aggressive.
Got it. So it's really just like the full-on, kind of like the Korean version of it is very aggressive. They have like the Asian, I guess, mech shaman, which is like super aggro. Like I know that's what they tend to play. Even super aggressive mages is what they tend to play on the Asian servers.
Yeah, the biggest drops are the low tap, and together with Leroy, I think, as 5 drops. But like that's it. A lot of 4 drops, but no 6 drop at all.
But
So
it's-
Liquid's 5-2 here now.
Match point. If Savjz is actually able to lock out the hunter, then there's a good chance. I mean, the problem with this is if Chakki's playing any type of aggro deck, then it's a bit tougher. But if it's a mid-range deck, I think the mech shaman's got a good chance. Great chance, even, I'd say.
Well, it showed with like getting 4 matches for the shaman. It's like the mech decks are always tricky to play with because sometimes you just draw your late game stuff first, but it should be draw once pretty nice at least.
Yeah.
I guess the worst matchup will be like the mirror, you know? You can't really expect to outplay your opponent in a
Right.
match on mirror.
Yeah, it's like kind of like who gets the early lead, and then, well, we just play our cards that we top deck one at a time until somebody just gets a snowball going. First guy to lightning bolt.
This could potentially be another 6-2 in the last week of Archon.
Yeah,
Which is-
in the very last week, the last weeks have been the toughest one. And this is a crazy hand from
Look at
Savjz, which-
Savjz, by the way. Look how
yeah,
he
he's
changed.
playing great
Wow.
music right here.
When you play aggro mirrors, you
Oh
want
my
to go first.
god, look at this double Inoyotron.
It
with
would
the
be much
power
stronger if you would have went first. If you go second, this is like,
So you just get a mech
Yeah.
warper here and you're good to go.
So do you kill this first with your weapon, or because
No.
you can play the Neutron afterwards, or is that bad?
it's bad. You are neutron face. Smork.
Yeah, I kind of like the whole Smork plan against hunters.
Then
Is it
power
aggro
phase.
against aggro that you want to trade? The Mad Scientist gets pretty okay value in the 1-2 Neutron.
I mean, you can play Power Mace after and still do it. I guess you're weak to a weapon either way, but then you
But-
play a Shredder that's a 5-4.
But you basically, you take out the whole tempo possible with that play. And your game plan is just to kill your opponent as fast as possible. If you don't go for face here, you lose maybe like 10 damage. Like if you attack with a Cockmaster here, will most likely be able to attack next turn as well. That's already 6 damage. And 6 damage with this deck is like a lot.
Yeah, but I can see it. Like buffing an Neutron and making it a 3-4 next turn already is...
Yeah.
Like if there is no all for Chakki that moment, it's gonna be really hard
But
to
if he
deal
gets
with.
Misha, you lost the game. That's
Yeah.
the thing. I mean, I played this matchup so much. Okay, now he
Yeah.
plays Animal Companion. Misha, you lost the game. He has to like reuse the Rock Biter, the most important card of the deck, plus the second
kill a Misha,
charge,
yeah.
and your opponent is still at 30 life. So he used overall 9, 10, 12 damage to a turn 3 just to remove minions. It's just bad.
What's Gar's saying here is, you know, if you're gonna play this deck, just go phase, right?
I mean, you have to understand your game plan.
Right. Go phase.
And this deck is not made to do trades. Like, you don't have Lightning Storm. Like, how do you kill an Hunter Creeper? Like, he has to follow his game plan here. Like, he went for the trading play. So how do you kill a... so he basically transitions from the better Smurk play from the last 2 turns into, like, a mediocre Smurk gameplay. I mean, he still has to Smurk because, like, you can't kill a Hunter Creeper. Yeah. And you still lose to Houndmaster. He would have lost to Misha. You know,
I
can
see that.
The difference is just that he would have smoked him for 12 more damage.
12 damage.
That's a lot. Yeah, it's 2 charges.
Oh my goodness.
Especially with a Doomhammer.
Good thing he never used that Rock Biter on Amisha.
Yeah, that was very good for Savjz that Chakki didn't have the Animal Companion. It's like one of the most annoying cards.
Yeah, Freezing Trap's still pretty good though for Chakki. It's almost better to have the second one right now because Mad Scientist at least maybe wouldn't get triggered by your opponent, but in this case, oh, was that a misplay? Or does he want to keep the 5/3?
He wanted the buff on the 1/1, so he could trade better into the Northron.
It was alright.
Yeah, it was the right ordering. Never mind. Oh, that positioning. We're gonna go back to that again and again. I guess you're kind of forced to bolt this at the very least, right?
I don't know. I feel like you're almost forced to Doomhammer here too.
So you Doomhammer, start pushing, and then hope Lava Burst. Well, Lava Burst, Bolt, and Rockbiter could carry you completely on their own.
The only problem is
he's got
4 mana next turn.
Yeah, but this is you have to play Smurk. But then it comes down to to the original game plan. It usually always comes down to this because you can't kill any of the minions that Hunter plays. You can't kill Mad Scientist efficiently. You can't kill Hunter Creepers. You can't kill Shredders. Basically any minion that a Hunter plays. And then you basically have to start smorking him. And the thing is that he has now much more life than he should have originally. Like he just dealt 9 damage.
I think the only way for Savjz to guarantee lethal is to top deck like a Crackle next turn or to have a second Rockbiter off the top. But yeah, going for Doomhammer is definitely the play that could save him.
He can actually stall the game with a Neutron and Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, they work.
But you have to develop your Doomhammer and you have to get damage in. Like you will never win the game.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's...
So this is the end.
A lot of annoying things here.
So Gara seems like, you don't see his webcam right now, but he seems very irritated at seeing this Shaman deck just not being played the way he wished he could have played it. Right? Is that
I totally agree. Like there is always some moment you have to go for it or just going aggressive, and it might be just you have to maybe already just start with it and just go.
Even if he loses this, right, there's still a chance that he can stay in. Look at the trades that were done here. Like it's still possible that Savjz, even if he loses this, because all the trades that he made were kind of subpar, there's like 3 more games on the back end against other decks, and he could just get one of those. So maybe that's why he's playing maybe a little laid back. I'm not sure.
Another thing is like you might argue that he would lose anyways because he got a Neutron from Shredder. But if you go for the original game plan, you will never kill a Shredder.
Yeah, that's true. That's totally true.
So it's I'm just like irritated because of like this Shaman wins fast and loses fast. Like if you don't go for the burst, you will top deck. Most of your deck is just burst damage, and it's just
you'll top deck the win. Yeah, if you just go face, eventually in a top deck spot, you've got the edge. Like if you're both kind of top decking for answers or struggling to get that last 1 card, you've got the edge on them. And now he's gonna go for the Doomhammer play, and now it's already too late. So
yeah, putting 4 damage into the Neutron really hurts.
Yeah, even on Stable Ghoul would have been better. This could just be the game, right? There's like two beasts.
Everything will be the game here because Hufferwaza and Misha will...
No, Misha did it.
Misha.
Right, yeah. Well, he couldn't deal with it, but... The lethal has been found. I guess that's unfortunate for Savjz. He's got at least a few more games. He's the only player left on his team, so all he needs to do is snipe 1 win against 3 more decks. That's not impossible, right? We've seen the mirror match, you know, always very volatile. That could backfire. Forsen has a ZOO deck, which is pretty hard to beat as Shaman, I guess. If you can't compete with the board, and they're just gonna create a bigger snowball than yours. And then they have a mage on the back end for Forsen as well.
Yeah, and the mirror, like.
Yeah.
How is that? The version from Ostkaka is really aggressive, so that might maybe be slightly better. But I think the one that gets like a lot of mechs early has there the advantage.
Well, okay, so here against the mage, like, who gets the edge between Savjz and Forsenboys?
I think it's the power mace against the blast mage. I mean, the power mace is an amazing weapon that trades so well into the mechs, but the blast mage can really get a lot of. It's just an amazing 4-drop, so I'm not really sure.
The way
Maybe
how I
Gara
do
knows
it,
better.
yeah, because I play like a lot of aggro decks, it really comes down, you count the 1-drops. Because who goes first and how many 1-drops you have in the deck. And that's how much more you are favored. That's why Aggro Paladin is favored against all other aggro decks, because you play 9 1-drops. And Mech Mage is favored against like Mech Shaman, because Mech Shaman only runs double Cockmaster, and you really need to play minions on curve. Like, because those decks are all snowball decks. And the Mech Mage just plays more early game stuff. And that's why the Mech Mage is favored. It's just logic.
So it's looking like ZOO is going to be queued from Forsenboys, which I think is very logical. Just queue up the ZOO against the Shaman, and you've got already like an almost
and
guaranteed win most of the time.
It goes way back that it's like known that ZOO is one of the strongest early game board control deck, because of the strong 1-drops you have with the Void Caller and the Flame Imps. It's like the classic counter to other aggro decks.
Savjz has a pretty sick start, and Forsen's start is not bad, but nothing quite like what Savjz has. This is probably...
Ooh, that 1-drop is really sick here. That's really sick.
Sick top deck here for Forsen, going to
Because
deny
now-
the Cogmaster play.
Oh, wow.
It's so awkward. And now the curve is looking pretty okay.
Ooh.
The Mal'Ganis with the Void Caller. Even more pressure coming out. Do you play the Power Mace right now?
I think
You kind of have to, right? Like, there's no reason not to.
You buff your mechs also, so pretty okay.
Forsen picks up an Imp Gang boss, and I'm gonna call it quits. Ah, he doesn't. Alright, this is the window of opportunity that the Mech Shaman needs to seize.
Yeah. But those two matchups are like by far the 2 worst matchups for the Mech Shaman. The ZOO and the Hunter.
Do you just go face with the Power Mace after the Mech Warp has been played, and then you play the Cogmaster?
Oh yeah.
Like, there's nothing else. You hope your burn eventually works, and you hope they never get a crazy Argus that you can't remove. And if they do, you better have the Earth Shock ready.
Face is always the place. Except they play Taunt, because...
You know, I like the way you think, Gara. Like, over the past 2 games, you've been telling us a lot about how to play Mech Shaman. It all seems to boil down to face. I like this.
Yeah. I mean, I played Mech Shaman to rank 1, and I think it's very logic. I don't think it's so difficult to play, because you have to understand the game plan from the start. It's like...
But why do people understand it with Hunter, but not with Shaman? That's the problem.
That's the question, isn't it? Why does everyone go face with Hunter, but Shaman is like... Everybody's trying to play this conservatively. I guess it's remnants of people being used to playing mid-range, where you're always trying to remove things left and right and playing kind of slowly for that big combo at the end. Whereas you're actually okay with being in top deck mode with this deck, to an extent.
Yes. Like, they play all those Death Lords and stuff, and then you double crackle him for...
Over 9,000, yeah.
Yeah. But early you have to get the damage in that you can get to that point.
Yeah, and then you rely on your spells to finish them off.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the way you play it. It's kind of like you have infinite quick shots in your deck, or infinite kill commands. And all I have to do is get like 15 damage in, and usually you'll be able to get the last 15 through spells. Or maybe like the last 10 damage will at least be consistently from spells.
So, I think you attack face here again, right?
Yeah, that's obvious, but...
So pretty...
The only question is like if you play Yeti or Shredder. I think this is usually very difficult. I mean, you don't know the outcome of what you get out of the Shredder.
And the problem with Shredder is it trades so insanely against the Void Caller trades so insanely.
Alright, it's a pretty bad trade for you.
More demons for Forsen. Not sure if he's really happy with that.
And look, because 17 life is not so much for this deck.
Yeah,
He
he's
has
got to be
one
very
character.
scared right now, right?
If he gets one lava burst, and he taps one more time, this is over.
Not quite the card he's looking for, but now you can play Mech Warper or Shredder, and that's still okay. Man, an Earth Shock would be insane right now.
King Cockmaster, Zepomatic.
And Mech.
Are the Mech Shamans not playing with Earthshocks anymore? Because we saw like 4 games of Mech Shamans in a row and nobody played.
No, we
anybody-
saw an Earth Shock from Ostkaka. No, we
Okay.
definitely did. Yeah.
Also, last week, Savjz teched in 1 Hex, 1 Earthshock, so I really hope he brought it again, because you
Oh
absolutely
man,
need it.
Doom
It
Guard
gets
for
the-
free right there.
Yeah, it gets the middle outcome. Like Morganis will be sick, Imgang boss will be really bad. These
those
point
Morganis-
calls are actually pretty nice.
Yeah, the taunts are super annoying. Taunt is cheating.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Gara agrees too. He's like, I like to go face.
Taunt is cheating. Please remove Blizzard, come on. Lotep is cheating, yeah.
So let's see that Doomsayer. Let's see it.
Doomsayer.
The Doomsayer's auto win. Like this is.
Yeah, but
Even-
as I said,
Go ahead.
those 2 matchups, you have like 20% at most to win with the Mech Shaman. Zoo and Hunter, this is like absolutely impossible. There's like 20 cards of the deck to just beat you. Like just 1 implosion. If they get 1 implosion for free, they have board control and you will never come back on board again.
What about mid-range Shaman? I was under the impression that mid-range really struggled with Mech Shaman. Maybe in the initial phases of it. Because I remember when Mech Shaman came out, like you could counter mid-range Hunter quite nicely with it. Like when it started being played, the most recent versions. Because
Yeah,
before
and-
their damage came out, yours was already in the face.
Yeah, now people cut like Unleash the Hounds and stuff. Those cards are very important. And people cut Houndmasters. If you don't have taunts, then yeah, you just smork him down. And Hyman's and like mid-range Hunter is just
Whoa.
bad in general. It loses to everything.
What?
Yeah, he was dead on board already. He was dead
okay.
on board. So
Must
he
have
he
been
called him trade with his Shredder to get him taunt, and he didn't roll the taunt totem, so there were no outs anymore for Savjz.
Okay, I was too engrossed in the conversation about mid-range Hunter to notice the immediate lethal.
Okay,
So
now we
he's
can
got 2 more matches.
Now we can continue the series. I feel like Mech Shaman.
Well, we
can't
got
beat-
only mech decks left. It's Mech Shaman against Mech Shaman and Mech Shaman against Mech Mage. It's
But those are
Lots of
winnable
mechs.
matchups. The other 2 were just
yeah. If these are not winnable, I mean, it's
Mech Shaman Mirror will come down to like I think it's so volatile, right? To just the early game from that matchup is it just defines what you get. Like the only way I could see a Mech Shaman who gets the early board losing is if his opponent gets a Doomhammer Rockbiter and it's not contested and he can't quite find the top deck lethal. Otherwise, whoever gets the early game tends to just stake it. So hard to win when you're like from behind.
So do you go first, Mech Shaman or Mech Mage? Now it's
I try Mech Mage first. If I want to get
Yeah.
like all those crazy tiebreakers and stuff, and leave Ostkaka the very last match, deal with
let
it.
him recover after that match still against the Warrior. Like imagine if that Mech Shaman will be out against the Warrior. That will be really insane here.
Yeah, you go for your favorable matchup first, and then you try to win the coin flip.
And I think it's still favored for Forsenboys than Mech Shaman against Mech Shaman because that version is just more aggressive, and the more aggressive version should have an edge.
In
What I
theory,
mean-
yeah, I think you're right. Like in the Mech Shaman mirror match, it's kind of like
But they
Face Hunter
play-
versus Face Hunter.
But they
right?
play the exact same list. How can he be favored?
But do they? Like I saw Fight Guard Destroyers. Are they
No,
also?
both-
Both players play it. the
Okay.
exact same-
Yeah,
yeah.
But
it's-
Leroy, like is Savjz playing also like the really aggressive one?
Yeah, they play
Yeah.
the exact same list.
Everybody
Okay,
plays
well,
that list right now. There's like no difference, it seems, in the meta. Like it feels like everybody's playing that list because it's so much more. Like the games are so much more fast. I guess in a way as well, you could say that you play more games faster, very frequently, like on ladder. And the fact that nobody can prepare for it, it's kind of like playing Face Hunter. Nobody really has a way to set it up so they can counter you very easily. Oh man, that's hell.
It's a really good starting hand for Forsen here, I think.
Okay, Forsen has the God Draw. Let's call it the God Draw for now. And then we'll reevaluate if he doesn't... Oh, never mind. I was gonna say it doesn't pick up a Frostbolt.
Oh my god, what do you need more in this hand? Like
I
the
don't know,
Neutron even is so good against the Power Mace.
I don't want to be a douchebag, but the chance that this game is over is like
95%? Okay.
No, it's not that high. Because he has the
Okay.
power mace. If he wouldn't have
Right.
had the power mace. But he has the frostbolt as well. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That frostbolt is like the nail in the
Yeah.
coffin, it feels.
So how often do you crackle here instead of the mech warper? To get like, if you crackle here and you play power mace next turn, you get the buff.
How
of
do
mech
you play
What?
Power Maze next
You
turn?
can't.
That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
Oh, poor
You have
little.
to feed. You have to feed the macro pray to RNGesus that he doesn't have a frostbolt. Then he has the frostbolt.
Yeah, but he can already ping just by with the clockwork gnome when
Oh,
it's already.
man.
Heart.
Totems are just gonna get killed, so that's not even an option.
But this is basically what I said because of the one drops. Manaworm and Cockmaster are the two strongest one drops, and Mech Mage plays 6 one drops. The chance that you get a better opener is just 3 times more likely for the
Yeah.
Mech Mage than for the Shaman. And this is just turn 1 and turn 2, and the game already looks over. And you need the snowball, you need the tempo from
Turn
the
2
first 3
hero
turns.
power.
I think this is actually even a misplay. You have to hope that he doesn't have the Frostbolt. I mean, if you don't use the minion, he will still have later the Frostbolt. For example, now he played the Anoitron. He could also play another minion. And now because he wasn't forced to remove your Mech Warper, you can't even kill the Manaworm with your Power Mace. So it puts you in even worse spot than it would be if you just feed the Mech Warper.
Frostbolt face Cogmaster. Or I think that one drop really almost makes you want to play that. Because that way you can't get the death rattle and you're still going to be super far ahead. But there's probably a good argument. Like, Snow Trigger is so much better anyway, most of the time. Like, what minion is he going to play here that's going to really contest the board? I guess a Yeti could be a problem, but you can just freeze that again if that becomes an issue. Like, double Anoyotron is almost mandatory for Savjz in order to stop the bleeding.
What?
That's a really difficult position to play from as Savjz. I don't even know if you can play from this position, honestly.
Yeah.
Time runs out on me.
I don't know. Like in the first 3 turns, you just can't misplay. That's the thing. If you get just so punished, that you just lose the game. There's like no, like those types of decks don't have any comeback mechanic.
That's a great top deck though for Savjz, getting the ability to kill something. He's gonna kill 2 minions and develop a potential 4/5
great.
mech warper. That's like
That's
one of the
really-
few cards I think.
And you,
that-
you can also just
Yeah.
light him for here. It's pretty strong.
Yeah,
actually.
that is the best
Yeah.
draw. The best draw he could have gotten. Like Rock
Yeah.
Fighter wouldn't just cut it. It's just only one mana card. It's really great.
All right, Forsen's still a decent board though, so he's way away from being out of it. And now the
the Doom-
question is, how does Savjz keep the pressure? He can play a big 6 health minion, and that's gonna contest everything quite nicely.
Yeah, the Doomhammer is a big. The Doctor Doom is like a big deal.
Doctor
for,
Doom.
Like,
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Whoops.
Doctor Doom. Man.
The Doctor. Oh, the wow. Okay.
My God. Oh, slow roll.
And
okay.
Fireball. No, Lothab. Still
Oh, wow,
a
that's
crazy card here for Forsen. Disabling removal on his opponent. Gets to clear. Or clean, rather, not clear.
It's probably even okay to send this Chugga into the 5/6 because he's already so low. But he
Yeah.
really wants to freeze his face, I guess.
Yeah, I think
With
when
double
you...
count, I will for sure make an. You
So
want to
do you play it for value here and you attack the 3/2, or do you kill the Lothab?
Oh,
I think 3/2 is pretty nice here with double taunt up, but
Yeah, exactly.
Is it risky at all?
I mean,
I
if you
don't-
silence something, it would be risky. Because if you attack Lothab, that's just a suicide. Like, not a suicide, but you lose
Yeah.
the 5/6 for sure. So maybe killing the 3/2 for value is better in most cases.
you can even consider crackling next turn. Like next turn, you have 7 mana. You can just play both your
Hello?
cards, Doomhammer and Crackle.
Yeah, I like that trade. Double taunt is really huge in this situation.
Man, he keeps picking up good cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sends in a great spot here. Good curves, get a ping, Shredder, and then into Dr. Boom. Or Dr. Doom, if you want to call it that.
The
like-
biggest deal is really that he's at 30 live in a race
Yeah,
match.
there's like 0 damage done in a complete damage race. There's like no way. I was gonna ask like what even is the winning play, and I can't figure it out. So if this rolls low, the game's over. It has to at least kill Lothab. Okay, good. Step 1. And here it comes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you have to go for the Dr. Doom.
Turn 7, is that a question? You just slam it on the board.
Yeah, there's lethal with the boombots and the shredder and the frostbolt.
Savjz just needed one more turn here, and then it might have been almost enough.
He needed the turn that he couldn't get early because the 2-1 drops fell on the board instead of his Cogmaster. That's exactly the turn that he was looking for.
Hoping for some shredder RNG here. Not 1-1 Novik Engineer, not really what you were looking for, I think.
Lava burst the boombot. Take 3 to the face and die.
The revenge.
Little boombot's like 5 damage to me. Take that.
Yeah.
Oh man, Savjz is on the ropes here. There's one more deck to go. The mirror match.
Oh wow, 5-5 from 5.
He can't
to
feel
4.
good. He can't feel good right now. Savjz must be very stressed out. And Thijs, how stressed out are you feeling right now?
Well, I don't want to bring it up because I mean it's a really strong, close series, but it's also really important for our team that if Team Liquid wins, we advance into the top 5. So it's also for us important. But I'm just happy with they having a good match, and it's really close now. It's really close.
It's actually surprisingly close because I expected maybe Savjz to be just getting a free win against one of multiple decks, but he's been playing very conservatively with his Shaman list, and I've noticed that in the past weeks as well. I don't know if it's a matter of play style, right? Like I know that Gara seems to disagree a lot with the decisions that Savjz makes when he plays.
No, but this was very expected. It's very difficult to get a win from the Mech Shaman. Like I saw this, like I said that like 6 games ago.
The Zoo was really gonna be like almost unwinnable, and the Mech Mage would also almost be unmanageable, and the Hunter deck would also be.
I felt like only the Hunter where some changes. Like I can agree with Gar if you just play that maybe really aggressive, it could have mattered, but there were some really hard matchups, yeah.
But yeah, even then, if he would have played like different, it doesn't mean he would have won the game.
Of course,
maybe more
in that specific case, he would have probably taken it, but on average, maybe not. So we're looking at Ostkaka's starting hand. It's containing the Cogmaster, which is very important. Maybe a little less when you're on the second player.
From Ostkaka's perspective, I don't think I would keep the Neutron. It just doesn't contest anything.
That is Savjz.
That's Savjz's hands, right?
Okay.
Oh my god, Savjz with the absolutely most horrendous hand I've ever seen.
Yeah, you pray that you one time go first and get the Cogmaster.
Yeah. Oh my god, Ostkaka with the Cogmaster Neutron Dream. Whoa!
Oh, and there's an Hex.
Yeah, this is really bad for Savjz. Yeah. Usually, Cogmaster gets really punished when you keep it and you go second because the opponent plays his one first.
And then yours dies. Exactly.
But in this situation, he just has. But he has the Rockbiter to kill it. It's not too bad. The Neutron doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
But he will probably protect the Shredder, so that's good.
Oh my god. Okay. No, that's rough. That's really rough.
Mech Warper with the Neutron here into Shredder. That is a really strong turn.
That might actually even be over now. Forsenboys.
This might be the point where Gara just calls the game like he did the last 2 matches. Like 2 turns into it, he's like, alright, game over.
I just played it too much.
Well,
it's very likely.
Like we saw the upstart earlier with Ostkaka against the Warrior, but I don't think this is comparable.
Oh god.
Yeah, never mind the trade here. I mean, what do you get punished by? Like I guess Earth Shock would be a problem, but if you play a Shredder, that's not even an issue.
No. You Smorg. Faces the play.
You have 2 4-drops. I mean, and now you can play one on turn 3.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Just faces the plays.
I mean, at least there's a Hex, right, for Savjz? That's a really big upside. Like, we're looking at it from Ostkaka's perspective, and it's amazing, and it still is. But the Hex from Savjz's side really allows him to slow down the game a little bit if he wants.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a great card in this deck. It's like a very great tempo card as well, not just as a hard removal.
Yeah, you can maintain the tempo. Oh wow, he can remove the minion and play the Yeti.
Hex might actually be the strongest spell in the game. But it's difficult, like, obviously, to rate spells in terms of strength, to compare them, like a card
Yeah.
or in terms of that.
Yeah,
but I think-
exactly. But it's up there. Ah, and here it starts. Maybe the tide is turning back, sort of.
Now you can really compare this to like a Face Hunter mirror, where one Face Hunter just tries to clear the board every turn, and this
The
is
other-
what happens here. The one Mech Shaman just tries to clear the board or come back on the board, and the other one just goes face. And the
Oh.
one who...
There's no hero power to really, like,
Yeah, but-
inevitably kill you, right? I mean, sure, the top decks will kill you, but
But yeah, you play your
There are, like,
60 damage Doomhammers.
oh, you're right. Okay.
There are like
Nice.
2 annoying rounds now. There are 6 damage coming out for 2 turns. It's 9 in the hand. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah. No, you're right. Never mind.
The
It's-
Froggy also protects you.
Yeah.
So do you have to lava burst that Yeti, and play your Mech Warper?
That actually might be something... Usually you like to always develop the
You can
board.
you can play 4-drop right next turn. Like if he ends up double trading to the Mech Warper, it's good for you, because like you're avoiding some damage.
Yeah.
And then you can play a 4-drop.
And his hand just might be spells, right? It's like...
What is going on with this? So many taunts here from Ostkaka.
There's a chance he goes for the Leroy here. Pretty good chance, actually.
With double taunts.
Yeah, because I think it's just because of the mana efficiency aspect. It's great.
And you know he doesn't run Fire Elemental.
Flame.
And that's
Yeah. No, that
that's the
matters.
advantage you have when you just know the deck list. Compared to when you don't know the deck list of a
I
player.
mean, I kind of like Whirling Blades overall. Like the Whirling Blades and Oyotron like trade is super good.
yeah, that's...
I don't know if I'd skip it. It looks too good to me.
And it really secures you board control for the rest of the game. I don't like using the Rockbiter because of the Doomhammer draw potential, also Zapomatics. It's so
Agreed.
many damage.
Agreed.
What do you buff here with your...
You're shielded.
I will
Well,
do
I
the
mean-
frog. For the
Yeah.
for the
Froggy?
better BM.
Just because you can.
Yeah. Oh, it's not using it.
Um,
There is 4 mana now. Well, the board is like, it is only 4 damage on the board, actually.
I think there's still a chance that Savjz can take this. It's gonna be rough, but like he still has an Oyotrons, right? Like that on its own could just turn the tide a little bit.
But like, every card that is Ostkaka is gonna draw is either a damage card or an okay minion, like...
but Taunt is cheat and he has 3 Taunt minions.
Yeah, like, how is Savjz gonna get rid of these taunts, man? Too many taunts.
It's okay if Savjz loses. Ostkaka is cheating.
Yeah, we can disqualify Ostkaka right now for those Oyotrons. I think.
That's not okay.
No. So are you saying you're for cheating, Gara? Is that what you're
That's-
saying?
I would never play Taunts.
All right. So if you don't kill anything, he can't play Leroy. Yay!
Oh, that's the best strategy, not killing anything now.
Of course, of course. So you have to give stealth to an enemy minion so he can't taunt you. And then you read the card and it doesn't work that way. Imagine if that was the case though, that'd be hilarious. Oh, that looks like it's game. Just on the basis of like the 2 next turns should probably be game deciding. He has to get like Stoneclaw into Stoneclaw into Stoneclaw into Stoneclaw into Stoneclaw and maybe then...
No.
You don't believe?
Not you.
Okay.
Nothing either.
Yeah, he's got 14 damage right now. Like, Leroy right now is 14 damage on its own.
If he would have used the Whirlwind to trade, he would have had lethal this turn with the Rockbiter.
Right,
Oh,
with the
wow,
extra
that
1
Doom Hammer.
damage. You're right. Gara calling the shots.
It doesn't matter. Forsenboys.
Come on, man. Let's be real. It can happen. Like, the Vitality Totem comes out, and there's an Oyotron to protect it, and then Savjz climbs back. Because Ostkaka
I mean-
just can't do it.
The best possible card would be Lightning Storm. Like
It's
on
been played in
ladder,
some lists, yeah.
if you,
On
yeah,
ladder.
if you play on ladder, Mech Shaman, you really want to play Lightning Storm. But in tournaments, it's just that people usually don't run enough aggro decks for it to be worth it.
Yeah, I think you're mostly right on that one. There's really no reason not to run it on ladder.
It's the same as Mech Mage as well, like not running any Flame Strikes when the card is actually really insane in almost a lot of ways, but it just doesn't fit in an aggro deck.
Another round of Shredder Dreams, I guess, is what we're going to be
He cannot
looking
even
at.
kill his own Shredder, right?
Yeah, there's the Annoyatron. You can always smash it there, get the Vitality Totem and stay up. Oh, hey! What's up?
What are all these Annoyatrons doing out of these Shredders? How many Annoyatrons did we saw the last 3 games, man? It's getting annoying.
We should play the Annoyatron commercial after this match.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Please no. Please no.
So this Savjz just lose 4 games in a row to Forsenboys.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds like a scenario I've already seen before. I've seen this happen.
It was
That must
5-2.
It's really something occurred, like, and also SjoW had it already once against us. Like, it's really
Wait,
first. It's a bit-
you Power Mace and override it with Doomhammer. Is that enough? Annoyatron gets buffed. Does that save you?
It might be. I don't know.
Oh, actually it wouldn't in this case, because Leroy would take care of it. Okay, never mind.
But the biggest thing to point out is that for Team Liquid, it doesn't really matter if they win too much.
Right, they don't really care. It's mostly for Nihilum at this point. So I guess that you guys are gonna go down to Redemption, if I'm not mistaken, Thijs.
I think so too, yeah.
All right, so this is the exact last match of the first phase of Archon Team League. We're gonna have the redemption matches happening tomorrow. So congratulations here to Forsenboys for guaranteeing that. I mean, they're gonna move up in the standings, and they really wanted to get out of it. So that's a great win for them. It must have looked really hopeless at 5-2. Like they must have felt like that was absolutely impossible to climb back from. But we've seen less likely things that end up 4th place at the end of this.
And it was super close, as it looks like. The only reason why Nihilum climbs to 6 because we won like the tiebreaker, like the mirror.
Right, exactly. The
Heads
head-to-head,
up.
you have exactly the same game wins. The point differential is the same between Templestorm and Nihilum, and you guys just won the head-to-head, and so as a result, you end up 5th, where they end up on 6th place.
But just when you look
So
at the
funny
overall
when you are
score,
4-3 and you're ending 6 by having a positive score. It's
yeah, I was about to say like the entire
Yeah.
like look at the first 6 teams, how close it is. It's just 1 game differential.
Yeah, which is why it matters so much in those leagues, you know, when the players are all kind of high caliber. Like, we have Team Celestial way at the bottom, and you got Cloud9 Value Town. You know, you could say they're kind of far ahead, but you really not that much. They're pretty close to 4-3 either way. So it's really like a massive 4-way tie for the points, almost. And as a result, you know, one team had to end up in the 6th place for Redemption. So tomorrow we'll have Nihilum versus Team Liquid for the Redemption match, which is going to be very important. And it turns out Templestorm is 4th place, and not Forsenboys. So Forsenboys is 5th. We lied. Noxious lied, like every time.
It's okay. I
Forgive
take the
me, Gara.
shots. I take the shots.
Right. So that's it for the day, guys. We've had a pretty interesting series of games. I think the reverse sweeps over the past 2 days have been just incredible for the 7th week of the Archon Team League. Moving forward, we're going to be some of the more, I guess, climatic games at this point. We're going to see a little bit more tomorrow. One of 2 teams is going to be eliminated. I wish you luck on that front, Thijs. You're going to be facing off against your opponents.
Can you actually resubmit decks for tomorrow?
I'm
is
not
that?
entirely sure. I'd assume you could, but
Then you basically have almost no time, right?
to
I
submit
don't know
your
how
deck.
that works.
Well, I mean, I don't think you're gonna have to deal with a TGT card, so you should be okay, right?
Do you know how that works, Thijs? I mean, it affects you.
I have no idea. I didn't.
Yeah, you can
I think that's
resubmit.
something
You
I
can
should figure out
resubmit.
now afterwards.
Yeah.
All right.
Amaz is saying that you can resubmit the deck, so you should be okay.
Okay.
More
Alright, guys.
Archon
Well,
This will be a long night for us.
yeah. I hope you guys end up having at least good matches, right? We're gonna be casting this Showdown at night tomorrow if everything goes well. So thanks for watching, guys. Before we go, a quick shout out to our partners at Alpha Draft and Amazon. If you want to check out the promotion that Amazon is running, you can check them out on teamarchon.com/Amazon or at amazon.com/Hearthstone for 50% off. And for Esports Fantasy League, we got the alphadraft.com. So check them out for a chance of $300,000, a share of it at the very least, not the entire thing. So again, thanks for casting with me, Gar, today, and Thijs for this second match. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the redemption match. I wish you luck. Until then, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.